news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Actor of the Year. By the way, my dear friends, you know, probably I am one of the first ones in the history of NDTV to have this rare, proud honor of announcing and honoring as in the place of a real hero to a reel of my own movie, Shrikant. Without a further ado, with great admiration, love and due respect, the best actor of the year goes to Shri Rajkumar Rao. Please come on to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rajkumar Rao's versatility, dedication to meaningful cinema, and consistent delivery of powerful performances continued in 2024. His recent roles in Shrikant, Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, Stree 2 and Wiki Vidya Ka Wo Wala video showcases his deep commitment to his craft, often transforming himself physically and emotionally to suit the character's demands, making Rajkumar Rao the NDTV Actor of 2024.
जोरदार तालियां राजकुमार के लिए। भाई हम सबके दिलों के राजकुमार भी तो हैं ये। राजकुमार, आपसे पूछना चाहेंगे हम 2024 मेरे ख्याल से आपके जीवन का सबसे सुनहरा साल आप इसको मानेंगे?
Well, definitely. First of all, thank you so much, NDTV. Thank you, sir. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Shrikant, the real Shrikant, for giving us your life story and for giving me this opportunity to play you on screen, because it was one of the most challenging parts. But I had so much fun because when there are challenges, then only it's fun. Otherwise, it gets very monotonous, very boring.
आपने तो अपॉर्चुनिटी छीन लिया, नहीं तो मैं खुद प्ले करता था यार.
You are watching the World 24/7 on the NDTV network. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. Let's begin with the top stories you need to know. India rejects Canadian Commission's insinuations on interference in elections. The Ministry of External Affairs underlines it is in fact Canada which has been consistently interfering in India's internal affairs. US federal judge temporarily blocks part of Trump administration's plans to freeze all federal aid. The White House Budget Office ordered a pause on federal grants and loans. Well, Netanyahu is said to be the first foreign leader to meet in person with Donald Trump at the White House since he was inaugurated last week. Donald Trump will host the Israeli Prime Minister at the White House on the 4th of February. This is what Mr. Netanyahu's office has announced. ICC CEO steps down weeks before the Champions Trophy. Allardyce's failure to present a clear picture of host Pakistan's lack of preparedness reportedly is one of the reasons behind this move. Well, our big focus. In a scathing rebuke, India's Ministry of External Affairs has rejected Canada's Foreign Interference Commission report, which painted India as the second most active country in foreign electoral meddling after China. New Delhi has fired back, turning the tables and accusing Canada of chronic interference in India's internal affairs, creating a breeding ground for illegal migration and organized crime. Now, the Ministry of External Affairs statement read, and I'm quoting here, "We have seen a report about alleged activities on purported interference. It is, in fact, Canada which has been consistently interfering in India's internal affairs. This has also created an environment for illegal migration and organized criminal activities." It further adds that we reject the report's insinuations on India and expect that the support system enabling illegal migration will not be further countenanced. Now, while the initial report from May 2023 identified China as the most sophisticated foreign interference threat to Canada. The final report has claimed India had followed suit, engaging through diplomatic channels and proxies too. According to the Commission, intelligence suggested that shadowy figures may have covertly funneled money to Canadian politicians in an attempt to sway elections. But India clearly is not buying Canada's Smoke and Mirrors Act. Tensions, as you know, have been rising ever since the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused India of being behind the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar back in 2023. It is a claim that India has vehemently rejected as absurd and politically motivated. But diplomatic ties have since soured, as we have been extensively covering, with India expelling top Canadian diplomats and calling back its own. But in a scathing rebuke, India's MEA has rejected Canada's Foreign Interference Commission report, which painted India as the second most active country in foreign electoral meddling after China. My colleague Maha Siddiqui has been tracking the finer details for us. She joins us live at the moment. Maha, the MEA has rejected Canada's report on election meddling, accusing now the Trudeau government of consistently interfering in India's internal affairs?
That's absolutely right. In fact, India's response came pretty quickly, where India said that it not only denies these allegations, but also said that, in fact, it is Canada that has been interfering in India's internal affairs. And this is an argument that India has been, in fact, holding not from the Nijjar issue, but from the time when the farmers' protest took place. And you remember that Prime Minister Trudeau at that time had made a statement, and that time too India had said that Canada should refrain from making any comments about India's internal issues. So this is the response of the Ministry of External Affairs now to this report that has been put out, this report by the Commissioner, Hope. And this investigation or inquiry has been carried out for almost a year now, Parameshwar. There were 100 witnesses whose testimonies have been recorded in this. And this follows a report last year that came out in June, which was by the intelligence watchdog in Canada. This report tones down some of the points that were made in the earlier report, but still holds China and India as two of the responsible parties for having allegedly tried to interfere in Canadian election process. And it, however, said that the outcome of the elections were such that they could not make any impact on that. However, after this report, India, as we have just pointed out, has responded to this, saying that this is something that is that India denies.
As always, Maha, thank you so much for joining us with the lowdown. The report makes a lot of allegations without underlining or quoting any actual proofs, is something experts have highlighted. And whether this is a last-ditch effort by the Trudeau administration to, in fact, appease extremist Khalistanis is something that analysts are looking at. Let's turn our attention to the other big story we're tracking meanwhile. Netanyahu is set to be the first foreign leader to meet in person with Donald Trump at the White House since he was inaugurated last week. US President Donald Trump will host the Israeli Prime Minister at the White House next month on the 4th of February. This is what Mr. Netanyahu's office has announced. But Benjamin Netanyahu has been invited to the White House. The visit, yet to be confirmed by the Trump administration, is set to take place in about a week. And Netanyahu's office said in a statement that the Israeli Prime Minister is the first foreign leader to be invited to the White House during Trump's second term. Meanwhile, Google's Maps division has reclassified the United States as a sensitive country, a designation it actually reserves for states with strict governments and border disputes, as per reports. Now, this new classification for the US came after Donald Trump said his administration would make name changes on official maps and federal communications. Those changes actually include the renaming of Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America and renaming Mount Denali as Mount McKinley. But Google's order to stop designating the US as a non-sensitive country came on Monday, according to internal correspondence as per reports. Meanwhile, US federal agents began multiple immigration enforcement actions in New York City in a visible and publicized show of force that included Donald Trump's newly installed Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem. And she actually oversees the federal agency that runs the nation's immigration system. She traveled to the city and posted a video on X that she showed the arrest of an unauthorized immigrant with kidnapping, assault and burglary charges. But you know, that video, which seemed to have been taken before dawn, shows two federal officers outside an apartment building in the Bronx with a man in handcuffs being taken to an SUV with flashing lights. Federal immigration officers are on the move in major cities across the US amid an escalating crackdown nationwide on illegal immigration.
Federal officers are on the move nationwide in the United States as ICE agents make sweeping arrests in the latest immigration crackdown. The Trump administration is stepping up efforts targeting undocumented immigrants in cities across the United States, which has resulted in thousands of arrests. ICE has reported over 3,500 arrests in just the first week of Trump's presidency. 1,200 arrests were made on Monday alone, setting a new record as Trump reintroduces his zero-tolerance policy on illegal immigration. The all-hands-on-deck operation has already struck major cities like Chicago, Miami, and Atlanta, and now ICE has set its sights on New York City, launching raids in multiple locations in the Bronx. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem joined agents on the ground for what she described as criminal dirtbags that targeted quote-unquote criminal aliens with kidnapping, assault, and burglary charges.
We are here to address.
As fear spreads within immigrant communities, local leaders are holding public conferences to remind immigrants to know their rights and not give in to fear. Meanwhile, religious communities are taking a stand, with the Trump administration lifting restrictions.
Well, breaking news coming in from Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj at the moment. This is about the stampede-like situation we have been tracking on NDTV. Several pilgrims are feared injured after a stampede-like situation broke out earlier this morning at the Mahakumbh ahead of the Amrit Snan on Mauni Amavasya. Rescue operations are currently underway as we speak, with emergency services attending to the injured and authorities investigating the cause of this stampede. In fact, officials on the ground said that as per preliminary information, it seemed as though certain pilgrims had busted some barriers, but around 30 women were injured when a stampede-like situation unfolded in Prayagraj at the Mahakumbh on the morning of Mauni Amavasya, prompting akhadas to actually call off their holy dip. But as crores of pilgrims streamed into the 10th city in Prayagraj ahead of the Amrit Snan, amid a surging crowd about a kilometer away from the Sangam, barricades broke, leading some women to faint. As per preliminary information, as the unconscious women fell, the stampede-like situation began. They were then rushed to a hospital within the Mahakumbh fairgrounds. Further, some seriously injured women were sent to Bailey Hospital and Swaroop Rani Medical College for further treatment, as my colleague Ranveer was reporting live from Prayagraj. In fact, Ranveer joins us live at the moment as well from Prayagraj. Ranveer, take us through the current situation. What's happening? Do we have any clarity on what led to the chaos and stampede-like situation this morning? Was it solely overcrowding?
Yes, last night at around 1 a.m. Near the Sangam nose, some of the devotees were sitting beside the road and some of the devotees were trying to enter the Sangam area, and there was a huge crowd. You can see this is the number of crowd. So at around 1 a.m. a huge number of devotees were gathered near the Sangam, and due to some pushing up by the fellow devotees, the barricade at the Sangam road was broken, and that led to a stampede-like situation. So some of the devotees, mainly women, they got injured mainly due to suffocation, and that led to a stampede-like situation at around 1 a.m. and after that many ambulances were sent to the spot. The injured were taken to hospital, Central Hospital Mahakum, along with Belly Hospital and Swaroop Rani Hospital, and they are being treated in the hospital right now. But if we talk about today morning, you can see this is the crowd which is returning back from Sangam after taking holy dip. So the number of devotees is huge, and you can see this is the crowd. These are the devotees who are returning back from Sangam. कहाँ से हैं आप?
बहराइच।
हो गया स्नान?
जी।
आराम से हुआ?
जी बहुत।
कोई दिक्कत परेशानी?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
कोई परेशानी नहीं, बहुत अच्छा व्यवस्था है।
हो गया?
एकदम। सुबह आए, स्नान कराए, सबको ले गए, शासन प्रशासन वहाँ तक पहुँचा रहा है। कोई दिक्कत, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
वहाँ दिक्कत हो गई थी, आप लोग को जानकारी
हो गया, इतना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ था उसके लिए। पब्लिक को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
साधन की व्यवस्था जरूर करनी चाहिए।
अब जहाँ इतना पब्लिक है, थोड़ा बहुत तो हो जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं उसके लिए। आराम से
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा
हो गया आप लोग का?
हाँ, स्नान हो गया, बड़े आराम से।
See, this is the crowd. They were saying that now the situation is under control, and if you talk about the crowd, I am personally witnessing a huge crowd since last few days, and yesterday all the pontoon bridges were closed by administration just to ensure that no devotee can get to avoid any accidents. So this is why the pontoon bridges were closed, but now the akhadas have decided not to take holy dip today on the occasion of Moni Amavasya, and now the pilgrims, the devotees are taking holy dip at Sangam easily, and as per the devotees who are returning back from Sangam area after taking holy dip, they are saying that the arrangements are now up to the mark. हो गया स्नान?
हाँ जी, स्नान हो गया है। बहुत अच्छे से हुआ, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
कोई दिक्कत परेशानी
नहीं, कोई परेशानी नहीं है, और सारी सब चीजें ठीक है, व्यवस्था हमें ठीक लगी है।
आराम से हो गया?
मोदी जी की बहुत बढ़िया व्यवस्था।
रात में दिक्कत हुई थी?
योगी जी जिंदाबाद। योगी सुबह के टाइम स्नान कराया हमने। हाँ, हमने रात के समय
पहुंचे थे?
हम तो 3 दिन हो गए हम आए।
कब पहुंचे संगम?
संगम पे हम 5 बजे के आसपास, 5:30 के आसपास।
तब सब हालात सामान्य?
बिल्कुल सामान्य है, सब अच्छा हो रहा है।
बढ़िया से these are the devotees who are returning back. They are saying that they reached Sangam at around 5 a.m. But now the situation is under control, and you can see the devotees who are returning back. They are saying that the arrangements are up to the mark. So Prime Minister Modi spoke to CM Yogi Adityanath. He also spoke about the situation. He assured all help from central government also, and akhadas, especially akhadas, because today, the day of Moni Amavasya, is the prominent day for akhadas, the sadhu, the saints, and the holy dip on the occasion of Moni Amavasya is the main event during Mahakumbh for saints. But now, after the stampede-like situation, the akhadas have decided not to take holy dip, and they are inside their camps, inside their shivir, and now the sadhus have decided not to take holy dip, so that the devotees who are in Mela area since last 1 or 2 days, they can take holy dip easily. So administration is taking stock of the situation, monitoring the situation, and the situation, we can say, is now normal after this stampede-like situation last night.
Right. It's a relief to hear that the situation has been brought under control, Ranveer. But what are the authorities doing to provide reassurance to the pilgrims still at the Mela site? Is there any communication from the local government or the organizers about how this will be prevented in the future? We still have a few days to go until this mass event ends.
We are waiting for official words about the stampede-like situation, and we are also waiting for the administration to tell about the situation. But as per the devotees, the situation is normal near the Sangam, because we spoke to some of the devotees who are returning back, and you can see this is the road from where the devotees are returning back, and that's why the devotees are saying that situation is now under control. But as far as administration is concerned, they are still taking stock of the situation. They are trying to manage things. They are trying to manage the crowd, and that's why the top officials, including the officials sitting in Lucknow, they are monitoring the situation and trying to control, and they are also requesting the pilgrims to return back as soon as possible after taking holiday, because if the devotees will stay in Mela area, that will be problematic for administration, because if they'll stay here, that will lead to increase in the number of devotees who are present in Mela. That's why administration is continuously requesting that please return back after taking holiday, because the number of devotees is huge, and the administration is trying to get the devotees returned back to their places as soon as possible, because a huge number is also waiting for to enter in the Mela area. So you can see these are the ladies. आप लोग कहाँ से हैं?
हम लोग इलाहाबाद से हैं।
यहीं से।
हाँ,
स्नान हो गया?
हाँ, स्नान हो गया।
आराम से हुआ?
आराम से तो नहीं हुआ, दिक्कत तो हुई। भीड़ बहुत ज्यादा थी, नाला को कूदते, मजा भी आया, नाला कूदे, दीवार कूदे।
स्नान अच्छा हुआ।
सुबह सुबह आने की जरूरत क्या थी? दिन में आ जाती, थोड़ा सा वेट नहीं हुआ।
मुहूर्त इस समय की अच्छी थी। हाँ, मुहूर्त थी तो मुहूर्त के हिसाब से आए हैं हम।
हाँ, हम लोग 2:30 बजे घर से निकले हैं और यहाँ पे टाइमली पहुँच के 6:15 बजे हम लोग संगम स्नान कर लिए।
तो ये बिल्कुल कसम खाई थी कि
अच्छा स्नान हुआ, जो है बहुत अच्छा स्नान हुआ।
खाई की इच्छा थी, भगवान ने पूरी कर दी।
ये समझिए त्रिवेणी मैया और साधु संतों से ज्यादा जो है मोदी योगी को धन्यवाद देने लायक है। इतनी अच्छी व्यवस्था थी।
मोदी को धन्यवाद नहीं है, क्योंकि परेशानी बहुत उठाए।
आप लोग कहोगे?
हम लोग उड़ीसा से आए।
बढ़िया हो गया
जी, अच्छे से हुआ है,
कोई दिक्कत
नहीं कोई प्रॉब्लम।
तो आप सर कहाँ से?
मैं वेस्ट बंगाल से आया हूँ और बहुत अच्छा स्नान हो गया। बहुत मतलब पुलिस प्रशासन का बहुत अच्छा अरेंजमेंट, स्नान हो गया घाट में। चलो बहुत बढ़िया।
आप कहाँ से हैं? कितनी उम्र है आपकी?
70-75।
आराम से हो गया?
आराम से हो गया, अच्छा होगा।
कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुआ?
नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं हो गया, आराम से हो गया।
मजा आया?
मजा आया। आप ऊंचे बारिश से होते नहीं होते, आप कर लिया,
होना नहीं होगा। हाँ, ये उम्र में करने।
भव्य उद्घाटन, भव्य समाज चल रहा है एकदम। मजे सबने नहाया है।
अच्छा, आपको डर नहीं लगा इस
नहीं डर लगता।
So these are the devotees who are saying that the holiday was normal and the situation seems to be normal now.
Right. We will, of course, wait for the UP administration to give us a word on whether there have been any casualties yet. We are, of course, waiting to hear from officials on ground zero. But Ranveer, thanks so much for joining us with the latest from Prayagraj. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates. Do stay tuned. We're stepping into a very short break. The latest from Uttar Pradesh is lined up in a moment for you. We're stepping into a short break for now.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए, और साथ ही इनवाइट करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
You. Thank you.
And Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big fan of your work, so this is a pinch me moment for sure. I don't believe any screen is too big or small. It's a screen at the end of the day, and the world is developing so fast. There's so many changes that are being made, so I think we're all just keeping up with the times.
Ananya, the fact is that 2024, this year has been phenomenal for you. One success after another. Kahan Kho Gaye Hum, Call Me Bae, CTRL. How does it feel to have multiple successes in one single year?
It's really a dream come true. I really think this year for me, more than ever, I felt very connected to my fans with Kho Gaye Hum Kahan and Call Me Bae and Control. I've done movies in the past, but this is the first time that I felt true love from the audience. And, all these films and shows have been conversation starters. People have not just come up to me and said that they like my work, but how my work has kind of made them feel seen or represented on screen. And for an actor, I think that's a huge victory for me.
So Asha ji is here on stage, and sometimes back मैंने आपसे ये पूछा था कि आज के दौर में स्टारडम कैसे हैंडल करना है, तो अनन्या आपके साथ हैं जो स्टारडम को एक अलग तरीके से हैंडल कर रही हैं. कुछ एडवाइस अनन्या के लिए, या अनन्या आपको आशा जी से कुछ पूछना है?
जी, आप प्लीज़ बताइए, आप मुझे एडवाइस दीजिए प्लीज़.
क्या बताऊं?
कुछ भी, आप कुछ भी बताइए, मैं ले लूँगी.
Sincerity, hard work takes you in a long way. That's what I...
Well, our big focus continues to be Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj, where around 30 women were injured when a stampede-like situation unfolded at the Mahakumbh this morning, prompting akhadas to call off the holy dip. But as crores of pilgrims streamed into the tent city in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj ahead of the Amrit Snan this morning, a surge as far as crowds are concerned about a kilometer away from the Sangam caused barricades to break, leading for some women to faint. In fact, as the unconscious women fell, the stampede-like situation began. This is what preliminary reports suggest. They were then rushed to a hospital within the Mahakumbh fairgrounds, and further some seriously injured women were sent to Bailey Hospital and Swaroop Rani Medical College for further treatment. We are awaiting a word from the UP administration and officials on Ground Zero to brief us whether there were any casualties in this stampede-like situation earlier today in Prayagraj. We actually have a reaction from the Special Executive Officer of the Mahakumbh event and the Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad President lined up for you. Listen in.
कोई ऐसी सीरियस कंडीशन
कितने लोग
आप लोग से अनुरोध है कि अब थोड़ा सा परिसर
मैम क्या किसी की मौत की खबर भी है?
नहीं, अभी कोई खबर नहीं है. अभी सब ऑन ट्रीटमेंट है. आईसीयू
घायल कितने
हमारे यहाँ पे आईसीयू है, यहाँ पे ट्रीटमेंट.
मैम कितनी एम्बुलेंस लगातार मूव कर रही है? कितना आंकड़ा एम्बुलेंस लगातार मूव कर रही है एम्बुलेंस?
अभी हम लोग काउंट ही नहीं कर पा रहे ना.
कितनी घटनाएं हुई हैं? कितनी वक्त?
अभी ऐसे कोई घटना ही नहीं हुई है, एक ही घटना हुई है. जितने भी लोग हैं वहीं से आए हुए हैं.
आपने देखा होगा जो सुबह जो भी कुछ हुआ है, और इसीलिए सरहित को देखते हुए हमने निर्णय लिया है कि आपने देखा होगा हमारे अखाड़े में पूरे सिंहासन लगे हैं और जितने संत महात्मा सभी स्नान के लिए तैयार थे और नागा सन्यासी हमारे जितने थे सभी जुलूस में देवता हमारे कंधे पे थे. जब हमें सुनने में आया है कि जो ये घटना घटी है, इसीलिए हमने जनहित को देखते हुए तुरंत निर्णय लिया कि हम आज का मौनी अमावस का स्नान नहीं करेंगे.
The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is appealing to all the pilgrims and telling them not to go towards the site of the stampede near the Sangam at the Mahakumbh. Several people are injured. We are still waiting for a word from the UP administration on whether there were any casualties. This is a developing story we're tracking on NDTV. News and updates continue as always. We're slipping into a very short break for now.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Joining us today is somebody whose journey in Indian cinema is almost parallel to independent India's journey. Almost 7-8 decades that she has acted, directed, censored Indian cinema. She has been a vital part, a vital cog of India's journey through all these 7-8 decades. Asha Parekh, welcome to NDTV.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Asha ji, you were part of the golden era of Indian cinema, worked with the best filmmakers, iconic actors. How do you look at your own journey?
Well, it's been a very long journey, and I enjoyed being where I was, and the adulation of the fans was really very great, and I enjoyed it.
And more than the enjoyment, you contributed immensely to the growth of Indian cinema through, the years that it was actually growing up.
Yeah, it was a golden era, I would say, and we had lovely music, we had lovely lyrics, very good directors, very good cameramen. Not that we don't have them now, but at that time it was a different thing altogether.
And 1960s and 1970s, there was a lot of larger than life, depiction in cinema. How did you see the transition? I mean, your own journey and the transition of Indian cinema.
Well, the films which I did were happy-go-lucky cinema.
Like
and
you.
Yes, and the transition which has taken place has been good, I think so. We are coming.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and good morning. You are watching Breakfast Show. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy joining you from Mumbai studios. We also have Divya joining us from Delhi. Divya, we're starting this morning with some grim news. Stampede horror in Mahakumbh leading to many injuries. NDTV, of course, gets you all the latest from ground. We're hearing that akharas have called off the holy dip, and Prime Minister now are taken stock of the situation.
Right, Radhika, of course, very sad news coming in early this morning from the Mahakumbh, where 30 women, including women actually, in the number of people who have been injured in that stampede. They have been rushed to the hospital. The Prime Minister has spoken with the Chief Minister of the state. We'll get you all the details. Let's just first get you the headlines.
Stampede at Mahakumbh after crowd surge. UP government says injured have been taken to hospital.
Multiple akharas call off that Amrit Snan after the stampede that erupted in the Mahakumbh. The government says all efforts are being made for crowd control. To remember that about 5 crore devotees reached Prayagraj yesterday, and this was around midnight. Today, that crowd was expected to swell up to 10 crore devotees that were expected to take a holy dip, but that Amrit Snan has been called off.
Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister speak to UP Chief Minister Yogi. In fact, the centre assures all support to Yogi government.
And it is a notice that has been sent to Arvind Kejriwal, the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, by the Election Commission, asking Arvind Kejriwal for proof that the water in Delhi is being poisoned.
India rejects Canadian Commission's insinuations on interference in elections. MEA underlines it is in fact Canada which has been consistently interfering in India's internal affairs.
And ISRO's 100th launch has been successful. GSLV rocket places the satellite in the orbit. Well, 548 satellites launched by ISRO. Over 100 launches. This is quite a feat as far as ISRO is concerned. ISRO marking its century in space.
We start the bulletin with some tragic news. Divya, coming from Mahakumbh early this morning, several devotees appeared injured after stampede-like situation broke out at Mahakumbh. In fact, this is ahead of the Amrit Snan, which was scheduled on Mauni Amavasya, which is today. However, several people injured as a result of stampede-like situation, and rescue operations, we believe, are underway, Divya.
That's right, 30 people in all have been injured in that stampede that broke out early this morning, with emergency services attending to the injured, and those 30 people have been rushed to the hospital. Of course, the authorities are investigating the cause of the stampede. From what we know so far is around 30 women were injured when a stampede-like situation unfolded at the Mahakumbh this morning during Mauni Amavasya, and prompting akhadas to call off that holy dip as crores of devotees streamed into Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj ahead of the Amrit Snan. This is, of course, this is something that's taken place on a day when 10 crore devotees were expected to take that holy dip in Prayagraj at the Mahakumbh. 5 crore devotees that reached yesterday itself, Radhika.
That's right. In fact, the injured were rushed to hospital within the Mahakumbh fairgrounds. In fact, seriously injured women were sent to several other hospitals as well. Let's go straight across to Ranveer, who is joining from the spot of where the incident happened. Ranveer, take us through the details, take us through the sequence of events. What exactly led to this tragedy, and is there any official confirmation of injured, and are there people feared dead?
Some of the devotees were sitting and they were lying near the Sangam nose area, and some of the devotees were trying to enter the Sangam area just to take Snan at wee hours. And at around 1 a.m., the devotees who were lying near the road and the devotees who were trying to enter the area, the crowd was so much that the barricade at the road was broken, and that led to a stampede-like situation, which led to injury of more than 30 pilgrims, especially women. And after that, the ambulances reached the spot. The injured was being sent to hospitals like Central Hospital, Mahakumbh, like Swarup Rani Hospital in Prayagraj. But after the incidents, the administration decided to request to the akhadas not to take the procession to the Sangam area, and the akhadas decided not to take the procession till Sangam, and the saints were waiting for the situation to get normal, and the akhadas are now saying that they can take holy dip at Sangam without any procession. So the devotees who are in Mela area, they are allowed to get into those areas also, which were restricted till tonight for akhadas, but now the entire area of the Sangam nose was opened for common devotees, and that's why you can see a huge number of devotees who are in Mahakumbh area, and they after taking holy dip at Sangam, they are now returning back. I'm joined with some of the devotees who are returning back. भैया कहाँ से आप?
हम महाराष्ट्र दुलिया।
स्नान हो गया?
स्नान हो गया।
कैसा हुआ?
बहुत अच्छे से हुआ। आराम से हो गया।
आप लोग का?
मैं दिल्ली से आया हूँ।
स्नान हो गया?
स्नान हो गया, 4 बजे स्नान करा। जब मैं नहा रहा
बहुत ज़्यादा थी।
भीड़ उस समय कम थी, 4 बजे कम थी। जब मैं नहा रहा था तो वहाँ पे चप्पलें मतलब तैर रही थी, चप्पलें तैर रही थी।
बहुत अच्छा स्नान तो नहीं हुआ, बहुत अच्छा स्नान नहीं हुआ। वहाँ गर्दी बहुत ज़्यादा थी और जाने वाले आने वाले दोनों एक ही साइड से आ रहे थे। हाँ, इसके वजह से दिक्कत, हाँ बहुत दिक्कत हुई थी।
और बहुत बढ़िया स्नान हुआ। सुबह अमृत काल में, सुबह जो मेन मुहूर्त में
अमृत काल में स्नान है 5:30 बजे, जो बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है। हम रस्सी लेके निकले थे ताकि गुम हो जाए, और कोई रस्सी की जरूरत नहीं है।
आप लोग से पूछते लेडीज, आप लोग का कैसा स्नान हुआ?
क्या
स्नान कैसा हुआ?
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। बहुत अच्छे से स्नान हो गया। हम गुम हो गए थे, लेकिन जो सेक्टर में जो नंबर दिया है ना, 165, 167, वहाँ से मिल गया सबको।
गुम हो गए?
एकदम, लेकिन मिल गया।
नहीं लगा?
हाँ,
नहीं लगा?
एकदम डर नहीं लगा।
आप बताओ मैम।
नहीं, मुझे भी अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा। अच्छा लगा यहाँ पे। वैसे बहुत एक रात की जर्नी थी, हम घूम के परेशान हो गए थे, लेकिन फाइनली हमने अच्छे से स्नान करके मतलब फाइनली अच्छा हो गया, है ना।
So you can see the devotees who are returning back from Mahakumbh after taking holy dip. They are saying that the snan is good, and see the numbers. This is the crowd, and this number can define that how large the crowd is in Prayagraj for Mauni Amavasya special snan. So the devotees are claiming that the situation is now normal, and you can see different kind of people from different states, from different castes, from different creed, but there is no differentiation now, and the situation, we see that the situation is now normal, and as per the devotees who are returning back, they are saying that the snan was good, though crowd is much more, and as per administration, the administration says that more than 10 crore people are in Prayagraj, and everyone want to take holy dip near the Sangam nose, and that's why CM Yogi Adityanath requested the devotees not to try to reach Sangam only. The administration has managed the ghats of Ganga and Yamuna so that the crowd, the people, the devotees who are wherever they are, they can take holy dip, and there is no compulsion of taking holy dip at the Sangam only, which is the joining place of Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati, but they can take holy dip, but the mythical feeling of the devotees, मैम आप लोग कहाँ से?
हम लोग यही इलाहाबाद
से। स्नान हो गया?
हाँ, हो गया।
आराम से?
हाँ, आराम से हो गया।
कोई दिक्कत हुई?
नहीं, दिक्कत तो नहीं हुई कुछ।
आप बताओ कहाँ से हुई?
मैं टीकमगढ़ जिले से हूँ।
आराम से हो गया स्नान?
हाँ, बढ़िया, सब पूर्वक हो गया।
बढ़िया हो
गया आराम से, कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुई?
नहीं,
कोई दिक्कत भी नहीं हुई।
कैसा हुआ स्नान?
बहुत अच्छा हुआ, बहुत अच्छा पर्व था। अमावस्या है, मौनी अमावस्या है, और बहुत भव्य पर्व चल रहा है। लाखों जनता है, करोड़ों जनता है, सबके अच्छे से स्नान हो रहे हैं।
So these are the random common devotees. I'm trying to get their reactions just to know the situation and the management of administration, and they are saying that crowd is much more, but the situation is now, we can say that normal. But CM Yogi Adityanath requested the devotees not to compulsorily visit Sangam nose to take holy dip. They can take holy dip near the ghats of Ganga, the Yamuna, or some of the devotees who are in the Sangam area, the Sangam nose area especially, they can take holy dip, and they are requested just to take holy dip and return back to their places as soon as possible, because the number of devotees are huge number, and I'm witnessing the crowd since last 2-3 days. It's you won't believe that till 12 a.m. last night. The yesterday's number was more than 5 crores. So obviously the crowd is very big, and that's why it's a big challenge. I'll take you to some other road. I'll show you the gathering, and this is the biggest challenge of administration. And as per Yogi government, initially the Yogi government said that the crowd will be around 7 to 8 crores, but now the crowd is around 10 crore or more than 10 crore, and you can see the choppers. Probably they are monitoring the situation, and they may also throw some flower petals near the akhadas, but now this chopper probably it is for monitoring purpose. So administration is now monitoring the situation through Mela control room and also from DGP headquarters Lucknow, and the top officials, including the officials sitting in Lucknow also, they are trying to control the situation now. But enormous crowd is here in Prayagraj Mela area, and the administration says that more than 10 crore devotees are in Prayagraj, and that's the biggest challenge because on a single day the number of devotees are more than 10 crore, and the total expected crowd in the entire 45 days Mahakumbh Mela, it will be probably more than 45 crores. So obviously it's a big challenge, but after the stampede-like situation, the administration is trying to control the situation now, and the top officials, they are in hospital like Swarup Rani and the Central Command Hospital in Mela area, and also the officials are present in the control room, and they are monitoring the situation through 2,700 cameras, and the administration is trying to biggest challenge. And now it's 8 a.m. and after the incidents it's around 6 to 7 hours, and now the situation probably is normal. The policemen should reach their places, should return to their places as soon as possible after taking the holy dip. So this is the road which is dedicated for devotees to return back, and you can see the number. This is the number. This is the crowd, and you can see a huge number of devotees are in Prayagraj. So the Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati meets at the Sangam nose, and the Sangam knows everyone who are in Mela area. They just wanted to reach Sangam nose, the joining place of Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati, and this is the biggest challenge because this is the number. See the crowd, see the crowd, it's huge, and this huge crowd is the huge and the biggest challenge of administration. And you can see the policemen are requesting the crowd to return back, to not stand at a single place. So, see, these are the cops, and they are requesting the crowd not to stand here. The policemen are requesting the crowd to return back to their places, and a mic is being used by the So this is the request made to the devotees by the police, and you can see a chopper. A chopper is monitoring the situation at the Mela area. The chopper is taking stock of situation at the Sangam, and I can see a huge crowd on Shastri Bridge, the bridge over the Ganga River, the bridge which joins Prayagraj from the highway which comes from Varanasi. So you can see a huge crowd at the Shastri Bridge. I can see no one can count the heads, but the head count is obviously in huge numbers. So the devotees which are returning back, they are now saying that the situation is normal, and administration has not yet said anything about casualties. We are still awaiting for official words over the incidents which took place yesterday. So now the administration is just trying to ensure that the devotees who took holy dip at Sangam should return back to their places as soon as possible, and the people who are in Prayagraj for Mauni Amavasya event, they want to enjoy the Mela, and that's why they, after taking dip, they want to stay here, and that is the biggest challenge of the administration. I'll try to talk to someone. Where are you from, sir?
We are from Surat.
Surat. Have you taken the dip?
Yeah.
How's the situation now?
It's good. Very good.
Good. So management is up to the mark.
मैनेजमेंट इज गुड
कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है
गुड
यस, जितना सोचा था उतनी भीड़ अंदर नहीं है, बाहर से इतनी लग रही है। हाँ, अंदर स्नान बहुत अच्छी तरह से हमने किया है, लोगों ने रोका भी नहीं है, शांति से हम लोगों ने स्नान किया।
So you can say this is the words of devotees, and policemen, they are continuously trying to request the devotees not to stand, not to stay back.
बाहर जाने का एकमात्र रास्ता यही है। आज सभी मंदिर बंद है भैया। आप लोग आगे बढ़े।
So the policeman is saying that the Lete Hanumanji temple, which is nearby Sangam area, is closed due to huge gathering of the devotees.
Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has appealed to devotees to take a dip at their nearest ghat and not try to go towards the Sangam. They are also asking, the Chief Minister and the administration there is asking for all instructions to be followed and to cooperate with the administration on the ground. From what we are gathering so far is that people got injured after a barrier that broke at the Sangam. And to know more on this, we have my colleague Vasa joining us on the phone line. Vasa, on the occasion of Mauni Amavasya, the day of the second Shahi Snan, from what we are hearing from the ground and from people recounting as to what really happened is that there was pushing that led to some people falling, and that really led to the stampede. Any word from the administration on those who have been injured in the stampede?
That's right, Divya. Today is Mauni Amavasya, and it's one of the most important religious days for bathing in Mahakumbh specifically. And I've been trying to reach out to a lot of officials in UP administration, but understandably everyone is busy. Here, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to Yogi Adityanath twice in 1 hour. In fact, the PMO is consistently monitoring the situation. Home Minister Amit Shah has also spoken to Yogi Adityanath, assuring him of all logistical support. JP Nadda, the BJP president, and also the health minister, has assured him of all support from the party ecosystem and also from the health ministry. But, like you were also saying, there are around 10 crore people who were expected for Mauni Amavasya. That were the kind of preparations that were made. But, of course, more people, more than 10 crore people, and everybody came in the morning, which was also in some ways, unprecedented. And, of course, that also led to this, sense of chaos and, confusion and, of course, a stampede. We don't know the number of casualties and deaths yet. We know that the UP administration is working on this. We've been trying to reach out to the health secretary there, but everyone is very busy. There's a count that's going on in hospitals, but yes, multiple injuries, multiple deaths are feared, and that's probably the most unfortunate thing. It's something that happens in every Kumbh, but this time it was unexpected because preparations were top-notch. In fact, Home Minister Amit Shah was there just day before yesterday taking stock of preparations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to visit Mahakumbh anytime soon. Today, of course, is Mauni Amavasya, which is where all the spotlight was on Mahakumbh, because today is also one of those days where, it was a test for UP government to prove its abilities. But now situation seems to have normalized. We're getting videos from UP saying that the crowds have reduced. Yogi Adityanath, meanwhile, has also issued a very important plea, urging people to use other bathing ghats and not really focus on the Sangam nose, because that's where the stampede happened, and he wants them to basically cooperate with the administration, listen to the instructions, and most importantly, not get driven or not get led by rumors, because that is also something that really causes a lot of chaos in large gatherings. So clearly UP administration is at work here. Today, like Ranveer was also reporting, even the Lete Hanumanji temple is closed, which is probably the most important temple there. It's the only temple in the country with a reclining statue of Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. So that's also closed. Many temples have been shut down so that people don't really make a queue. And of course, Akhadas initially said that they will not be taking a snan, but now Ravindra Puri, who's the Akhada president, has come forward to say that he'll be in talks with the administration, and the Akhadas will indeed assess the situation and go for a snan, because today is probably the most important day. This is also a sign that things are normalizing, but let's wait and see, because we are yet to hear from the UP health department on what really the figure is of the number of dead and injured.
Right, Vasudha, we believe UP Chief Minister has called for high-level meet and senior officers have been summoned to his residence. But what is the kind of response you're getting from the centre? We believe, of course, as you mentioned, Prime Minister Modi has spoken multiple times to UP CM, taken stock of the situation. But there's no clarity on how many people have been injured or if there are people who have died. So any official word expected anytime soon?
Yogi, Radhika, what we hear right now is Yogi Adityanath has called his senior officials at his residence in Lucknow for a meeting, which of course includes DGP and Chief Secretary. And these are, people who are very close to him. They are seen as responsible for the entire arrangement. And of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We still, like you rightly pointed out, we don't have any number on the number of casualties. Of course, some international press is reporting certain numbers, but official count, something that comes from the local authorities, is completely missing here. All phones are completely, they're just ringing because clearly they're all busy. We'll have to wait and see. There'll be a head count on, from hospitals, and that's how we will get to know. But we know so far that the Prime Minister is monitoring the situation. He has spoken to Yogi twice in the last 2 hours. Home Minister Amit Shah has also reached out to him. He has assured him of logistical support. And JP Nadda, because Kumbh is also so important for the BJP and the RSS, JP Nadda, the BJP president, has specifically said that any help required from the party ecosystem will be available. That's what he has assured Yogi Adityanath. And of course, the fact that Health Ministry can also issue regulations to hospitals, increase the scale of, treatment if needed. All that, JP Nadda has assured. But, like you rightly said, we have to wait to find out the number of dead. Only then we will get to know the scale of the tragedy. But considering that the videos now that have emerged show that some sense of normalcy has also come in, it is a sign of assurance that, probably things will be normalized soon. But very unfortunate because clearly multiple deaths and injuries are being suspected.
Right, Vasudha, of course, the Chief Minister there calling for that high-level meeting in which we are going to be seeing the Chief Secretary and amongst others, the authorities who have been summoned to be there for that meeting, but also the opposition attacking the UP government over the stampede.
Officially, of course, they've issued statements on social media, but Divya, like we've also been talking about, everyone is going to be very careful about this. Yes, of course, they will target the UP government for its, lack of preparedness and everything. But remember that it's a 45-day long, large gathering, one of the largest gatherings that the world sees. So clearly not an easy one. And 10 crore people coming to one little part of the world for just one day is a big thing. And today was probably the most important day because, it starts on the 13th of January with Makar Sankranti, and then the Shahi Snan begins, and then it goes on till 26th of February till Vasant Panchami and Shivratri. So there are about 7 days which are very important, but 3-4 days are clearly the most important. And today's Mauni Amavasya is considered the most critical for pilgrims, and UP government have made preparations for 10 crore people, but of course they probably did not anticipate the fact that all of them will come during that 1 hour or 50 minutes duration. That's what happened, and probably that's when the barrier broke, and which is why, and of course Yogi Adityanath now has issued an appeal asking people not to get carried away by rumors. So this also led to a lot of panic, but the good thing is that situation seems to be normalizing right now. The Akhadas took a right call to not really take a dip today, but now they have gone back on that call. They're saying that they'll be talking to UP government and then deciding later. We'll have to wait and see if UP government takes a call on that and allows them or not, or allows them in batches. That is something that they will have to figure out. But clearly a lot of planning needed from here on because many important days are coming up, and today clearly will be a lesson for UP government to manage its resources better.
All right. Thank you, Vasudha, for getting us all those details. We'll go back to Ranveer. Ranveer is joining us from Prayagraj. Ranveer, you were showing us how our situation is more or less under control now, but the fact remains that several people are injured and we don't have an official confirmation on number of injuries or if people have died. Take us through, when we can expect UP government to come out with some clarity on how many people are injured at this point. We know that UP CM has called all the senior officials to his residence for a high-level meeting.
also waiting for official confirmation about the injuries and if there is any casualty. We are waiting for that number. We are not in a position to say anything because the administration is keeping mum. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath called all top officials in Lucknow at his place to take meeting over the incidents, and you can see this is the crowd, and this crowd says that how difficult it is to manage this number because the Yogi administration has expected a few days back that the crowd will be around 7 to 8 crore, but now the number is probably more than 10 crore, and that is the biggest challenge, that on a single day the number is more than 10 crore, and that's why after the stampede-like situation, the akhadas have decided not to take procession for holy dip at Sangam, and now after the cancellation of that procession of akhadas, the saints are individually going out and taking holy dip because today is Mauni Amavasya, and Mauni Amavasya is the most sacred event for saints during the Mahakumbh. So obviously the saints will take holy dip, but now there is no procession, and the Akhada Parishad has decided not to take any procession. And if we talk about management, the administration is taking stock of the crowd management minute to minute on a real-time basis, and obviously Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is convening a meeting of the top officials to discuss the situation, to take note of the situation, that why the stampede-like situation occurred last night and how the administration is now planning to manage the crowd. So a huge crowd you can see is in Mela area, and administration obviously it's a challenge, but now it's a difficult task to manage the crowd, not only today but tomorrow and day after, because on 3rd of Feb it will be Vasant Panchami, another Amrit Snan will take place, and now after the Akhada Parishad's cancellation, the Amrit Snan procession, it will be obviously another challenge on 23rd of Feb. So now the situation, we can say that situation is under control, but after the stampede-like situation, administration is obviously trying to request people to get out of the Mela premises as soon as possible, and you can see huge number of crowd. This is one road where you can see the crowd, a huge number of devotees who are returning back after taking holy dip at Sangam, and this is the another road, and you can see the number. So both the roads are dedicated for devotees to return back from Mela area, and you can see the devotees who are here from different states. They are trying to stay back, they are just trying to enjoy the Mela, and the administration want them to get out of the Mela area after taking stock as soon as possible. So obviously it's a big challenge, and Yogi Adityanath is taking stock of the crowd management now, and PM Modi also spoke to CM Yogi Adityanath after the incidents. So a big day for Mahakumbh, as Mauni Amavasya event is the day when more than 10 crore devotees are here in Prayagraj, and the administration is trying to get real-time situation of the crowd management. So a huge crowd, and the different type of devotees are here, and administration is continuously requesting to take holy dip not only at Sangam Rose but at the different ghats which are prepared for the devotees at the ghats of Yamuna as well as Ganga, and also the administration is requesting the crowd to return back as soon as possible, because if they will stay there will be a mismanagement obviously because of a huge number of people.
The government of Uttar Pradesh expected 10 crore pilgrims in the Mahakumbh in just a day, and therefore they had stepped up the security in preparations for the Amrit Snan. About 5 crore of those devotees converged at the Sangam that you're talking about at about midnight, overwhelming the crowd control measures. This stampede took place at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Take us through the preparations on the ground for such eventualities in terms of the medical teams on the ground. The government, of course, we do here, has deployed over 1,000 medical professionals who are in the area of the Mahakumbh itself.
There is a central hospital of 100 beds along with some other hospitals. Some of the religious organizations, they also opened a hospital in the Mela area for medical services in the Mela. And also the big hospitals like Swarup Rani Hospital and medical colleges and different government hospitals, they are also on alert since the Mela started, because the administration knows that the huge gathering may lead to any unexpected situations, and which occurred last night. Obviously, the stampede-like situation is untoward incidents which was not expected, but it occurred, and that's why the hospitals are on alert, and the injured in the last night incidents, they are being treated in Swarup Rani Hospital as well as the Central Hospital, which is a temporary hospital located inside the Mela area. So the crowd management is the biggest challenge. After taking holiday from Sangam, and this is the biggest challenge because administration is continuously requesting the devotees not to stay back. The administration is continuously requesting the devotees to return back as soon as possible. So the administration's request to return back of the devotees is just a request, but you can see the number of devotees who are standing here and there just to enjoy the Mela, and this is the biggest challenge, obviously. So now administration has opened the area which was restricted for common devotees, which was especially made for saints, but now that area is also opened for common devotees, and you can see the ambulances, they are continuously positioning at different locations so that if there will be any untoward incidents, the ambulances can be sent easily in the entire area. So a big day, a big challenge, big incidents occurred last night when a stampede-like situation occurred, and more than 30 pilgrims, especially women, got injured.
Right, Ranveer, of course, from what we are seeing at the moment, Radhika, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to ask Ranveer, given past stampede, incidents that have occurred, especially the ones in Tirupati that we've been reporting on, administration, perhaps one would say, should have been extra careful. So any word, I mean, we can see the crowd still surging at Mahakumbh, and you're saying situation is under control, but any word on whether a probe could be ordered in order to find out what exactly happened early this morning?
There's no official words yet, and that's why, as a responsible channel, NDTV is not claiming any deaths, because we are just waiting for an official confirmation. And if we talk about probe or the cause of the incidents, we are not in a position to say anything, because no one from the administration is picking up our call. No one is releasing any press release so that we can know the situation. Administration is now just focusing to crowd management, and that's why we are, as a responsible channel, we are not expecting anything. We are not aiming. We just want official regarding the injuries, regarding casualties, if there is any casualty. So we are just waiting for official words, and probably after some time the administration will tell that why, how the incident occurred, how many devotees are injured, how many devotees, if there is any casualty, are died in this stampede-like situation which occurred at around 1 a.m. last night. But now we can see the number of devotees, it's in a huge number, and you can see some of them are trying to stay back, the devotees are trying to enjoy the Mela, some of the devotees are trying to meet the saints which are who are present in the camps of different the main concern, and that's why we are seeing that the policemen, they are standing at the barricades. They are requesting the crowd to return back as soon as possible. You can see these cops, they are requesting the mob to return. Whoever had taken holy dip at Sangam, he or she should return back as soon as possible outside the Mela area. And this is the sole request of administration to the devotees. But the devotees, as you can see, they are standing to take blessings of the Naga sadhus. So these are the religious things, and we can't question on this the acts of devotees, but obviously the acts of devotees are a challenge, and that's why administration is now just requesting to return back as soon as possible, because if the pilgrims will stay and you can see the numbers, then it will be obviously a problematic situation, and that's why we are also requesting the devotees to return back if they have taken holy dip at Sangam, because if they'll stay here, this will be problematic not only for administration, that this may be dangerous for them also, because a stampede-like situation occurred last night, and if they'll stay, it could be anything. So obviously we to
Right, Ranveer, in the past 17 days, the Mahakumbh Mela has already witnessed over 15 crore pilgrims taking that holy dip in the Sangam. But from what we can see is today, of course, that Amrit Snan, also known as the Shahi Snan, is the grandest and the most sacred ritual of the Mahakumbh Mela. And of course, today, like you mentioned, 10 crore devotees have reached Prayagraj, 5 crores of devotees who had, come together, gathered together at the Sangam late last night, early this morning. Now, the government has gone ahead after that stampede that erupted at the Mahakumbh. The government has issued an advisory asking all devotees to treat the ghats as equal to the Sangam. Take us through the significance of this Mauni Amavasya.
There are total 3 Amrit Snan, which was called Shahi Snan in Mahakumbh, but now it's being called Amrit Snan, and 3 Amrit Snan. So Mauni Amavasya is the event which is known for saints. The saints especially, they take holy bath at the Sangam Ghat, and Mauni Amavasya is the biggest event, not only for devotees but the saints also, and that's why today is the day which is witnessing more than 10 crore people, 10 crore devotees from. See, this is the number says that how many people are here, and see some of the paramilitary forces, probably this is ATS, they are also here in Mela. The Jawans, they are monitoring the situation, and if we talk about security, you can see chopper. The chopper is also taking stock from aerial survey because the situation, government want the situation.
Right. We seem to have a patchy line with Ranveer. We'll try to connect back with him. In fact, Mela has already witnessed over 15 crore pilgrims taking holy dip, and for the second Amrit Snan, Divya, UP government in fact deploying over 1,000 medical professionals in the area and setting up modern medical facilities as well. And we believe that there are 300 specialist doctors who have also been deployed here. Of course, as Ranveer had been pointing out about the significance of these dips, also about the Mela in itself. The Mahakumbh Mela held after 12 years, in fact this time starting on Jan 13, and will conclude on Mahashivratri, which is on February 26. But tragic news there of a stampede situation that occurred this morning. We're yet to await details on what exactly transpired and the number of injuries and how many have been hospitalized in various hospitals in Prayagraj, Divya.
Right. Of course, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister there is appealing to the devotees to take a dip at their nearest ghat and not to try to go only at the Sangam. The Sangam is where the stampede occurred late last night, early this morning, and to follow the instructions as far as the administration is concerned, to cooperate with them and not to give in to rumours. There are a lot of rumours also floating around. From what we are gathering so far is that people got injured after a barrier that broke at the Sangam on the occasion of Moni Amavasya, the day of the second Shahi Snan. Now, with some recounting that pushing led to some people falling, and that led to the stampede. Of course, you know, the administration hasn't really come out with an official word as to what really happened and what really led to the stampede. From what we know so far is 30 people have been injured. They have been rushed to 2 different hospitals. What is their health update and what is the situation on the ground? From what our colleague Ranveer is reporting, that everything is under control at the moment. 10 crore people have reached Prayagraj for the holy dip, and that the situation is under control. People are carrying on with the ritual. We will keep getting you the latest. For now, we're slipping into a very short break.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Actor of the Year. By the way, my dear friends, you know, probably I am one of the first ones in the history of NDTV to have this rare, proud honor of announcing and honoring as in the place of a real hero to a reel of my own movie, Shrikant. Without a further ado, with great admiration, love and due respect, the best actor of the year goes to Shri Rajkumar Rao. Please come on to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rajkumar Rao's versatility, dedication to meaningful cinema and consistent delivery of powerful performances continued in 2024. His recent roles in Shrikant, Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, Stree 2 and Wiki Vidya Ka Wo Wala video showcases his deep commitment to his craft, often transforming himself physically and emotionally to suit the character's demands, making Rajkumar Rao the NDTV Actor of 2024.
जोरदार तालियां राजकुमार के लिए। भाई हम सबके दिलों के राजकुमार भी तो हैं ये। राजकुमार, आपसे पूछना चाहेंगे हम, 2024 मेरे ख्याल से आपके जीवन का सबसे सुनहरा साल आप इसको मानेंगे?
Well, definitely. First of all, thank you so much, NDTV. Thank you, sir. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Shrikant, the real Shrikant, for giving us your life story and for giving me this opportunity to play you on screen, because it was one of the most challenging parts. But I had so much fun because when there are challenges, then only it's fun. Otherwise, it gets very monotonous, very boring.
आपने तो opportunity.
Let's get you the very latest in regard to 46 years after it really conducted its first experimental launch of satellite launch vehicle 3 that unfortunately crashed into the Bay of Bengal. The ISRO, that's the Indian Space Research Organization, has created history by completing its 100th launch. Radhika.
That's right, a milestone launch as far as ISRO is concerned. ISRO creating history today by completing its 100th launch from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota.
Congratulations to the GSLV team, project team, and also to all the launch vehicle community for making this launch perfect one. Congratulations to the project team of NVS-02 and all the satellite stakeholders who have made this spacecraft realized in time for this launch. I can now declare that the spacecraft has been injected very precisely with very small rates, rock steady injection, and the two solar arrays have been deployed and power generation has been confirmed, and the rest of the activities will be continued from the control center at URSC.
Early this morning, the Indian Space Research Organization hit its maiden century of big rocket launches from India's spaceport at Sriharikota. Just at dawn, India's geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle successfully launched the navigation satellite into a very precise orbit, said ISRO. This was the 100th big rocket launch from India's spaceport at Sriharikota. The journey for 100 launches has taken nearly 46 years. But the precise injection of a satellite using the indigenously made cryogenic engine is a day for celebration. India now hopes to carry forward the same, and ISRO scientists say the double century would come much faster. The geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle was once dubbed the naughty boy of ISRO, as it has had a patchy record. But on this 100th launch, the GSLV performed flawlessly and gave India a big milestone in space.
Let's move on now. Drama ahead of Delhi polls. Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal, Divya, has been asked to furnish proof backing his allegations that the BJP government in Haryana has poisoned the Yamuna water.
That's right. The Election Commission, which asked to produce that evidence, and they've given a deadline of 8 o'clock in the evening today following that complaint by the BJP. It said that in its letter that it was a very serious allegation that could create animosity between the states and carried a provision of a 3-year jail term, Radhika.
That's right. In fact, Kejriwal had claimed on Monday that BJP was mixing poison in city's water supply in an attempt to create chaos, hoping the blame will fall on his party's administration.
That's right, the Aam Aadmi Party will be blamed, and these claims though have been contested as far as the Jal Board is concerned. They have said that this will lead to fear-mongering as far as the people of Delhi are concerned, and the Election Commission in its letter to the former Chief Minister has raised quite similar concerns. And to know more on this, we have our colleague Ishika joining us. Ishika, of course, that deadline that has been given by the Election Commission to the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, to produce any sort of proof in order to really, substantiate its claims that they've been making as a party that the water of Delhi is being poisoned by the BJP-ruled states.
Right, we don't seem to have Ishika right now, but we will get to her. In fact, the Election Commission there, Divya, serving notice to Arvind Kejriwal, asking him to prove his poison in Yamuna claim to avoid legal troubles. In fact, that could lead to jail term, but poll body, in fact, asking him to validate his claim, as you mentioned, by 8 p.m. Today. In fact, ECI also mentioning various pronouncements and legal provisions that can lead up to imprisonment for these mischievous statements that have been made. So certainly EC there coming hard on Arvind Kejriwal after his allegations.
Right, and the Haryana government, they're also planning to sue the Aam Aadmi Party on those comments, is what we've been hearing now. Switching tracks to more news, in a scathing rebuke, it's India's Ministry of External Affairs that has rejected Canada's Foreign Interference Commission report, which has painted India as the second most active country in foreign electoral meddling after China, Radhika.
That's right. In fact, New Delhi fired back, turning the tables and accusing Canada of chronic interference in India's internal affairs, creating a breeding ground for illegal migration and organized crime. Maha has the details. In fact, according to the Commission, intelligence suggested that shadowy figures may have covertly funneled money to Canadian politicians in an attempt to sway elections. Let's, in fact, get you the details.
India's response came pretty quickly, where India said that it not only denies these allegations, but also said that, in fact, it is Canada that has been interfering in India's internal affairs. And this is an argument that India has been, in fact, holding not from the Niger issue, but from the time when the farmers' protest took place. And you remember that Prime Minister Trudeau at that time had made a statement, and that time too India had said that Canada should refrain from making any comments about India's internal issues. So this is the response of the Ministry of External Affairs now to this report that has been put out, this report by the Commissioner, Hope. And this investigation or inquiry has been carried out for almost a year now, Parameshwar. There were 100 witnesses whose testimonies have been recorded in this. And this follows a report last year that came out in June, which was by the intelligence watchdog in Canada. This report tones down some of the points that were made in the earlier report, but still holds China and India as two of the responsible parties for having allegedly tried to interfere in Canadian election process. And it, however, said that the outcome of the elections were such that they could not make any impact on that. However, after this report, India, as we have just pointed out, has responded to this, saying that this is something that is that India denies.
Right, thank you so much, Maha Siddiqui, for getting us all those details all the way from Canada. And now switching tracks back home in India is Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, who has targeted Arvind Kejriwal, the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, in his rally, naming the former Delhi chief minister as the architect of liquor scam and raking up the Sheesh Mahal jam. Now, Rahul Gandhi has accused Arvind Kejriwal of constructing a Sheesh Mahal using funds obtained from the purported scam, the liquor policy scam that he is referring to, Radhika.
That's right, Divya. Kejriwal questioning Gandhi family's apparent immunity from investigations under BJP government, referencing the National Herald case as well and land issues involving Robert Vadra. He challenged Gandhi by asking what happened to National Herald and Robert Vadra cases. How did they get a clean sheet from BJP? So Twitter war there, ex-war between the leaders. Let's get you some reactions on it.
और एक बात समझ लीजिए, बाकी पार्टी वाले सब, मैं नहीं जानता मोदी जी से डरते नहीं डरते, केजरीवाल जरूर कांप जाते हैं। उनके घर की आपने फोटो देख ली, नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने मुझे घर से बाहर निकाल दिया, फेंक दिया उठा के। मैंने चाबी दी, मैंने उनसे कहा भैया लो अपना घर, मुझे नहीं चाहिए, भागो यहां से। और केजरीवाल जी महल में रहते हैं, शीश महल में रहते हैं।
That's all we have on this bulletin. We'll be back with more on the other side.
That's right, lots more coming up on the other side, including the latest from the Mahakumbh, in which 30 people have been injured in a stampede that unfolded late last night, early this morning. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए और साथ ही invite करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank
And
you.
Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big fan of your work, so this is a pinch me moment for sure. I don't believe any screen is too big or small. It's a screen at the end of the day, and the world is developing so fast. There's so many changes that are being made, so I think we're all just keeping up with the times.
Ananya, the fact is that 2024, this year has been phenomenal for you. One success after another. Kahan Kho Gaye Hum, Call Me Bae, CTRL. How does it feel to have multiple successes in one single year?
It's really a dream come true. I really think this year for me, more than ever, I felt very connected to my fans with Kho Gaye Hum Kahan and Call Me Bae and Control. I've done movies in the past, but this is the first time that I felt true love from the audience.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Good morning, you're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vada. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including a stampede that's taken place at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh on the day of the Shahi Snan. This is the Amrit Snan that is it's now called, as it is a day when the government is now asking the people to take that holy dip wherever they are at the ghat and not to really wait to reach the Sangam, Radhika.
That's right, Divya. Several feared injured at Mahakumbh. UP Chief Minister has called on senior officials as well. In fact, he will be addressing the media shortly. Besides that, we of course have ISRO's 100th launch details as well. It is a milestone for space agency, but most importantly, of course, the Mahakumbh tragedy. We have reporters spread across Prayagraj to get us all the latest on it. But first, let's get you the headlines.
Stampede at the Mahakumbh near the Sangam early morning with the crowd surging near the barricades. Multiple injuries have been reported. 30 people have been taken to 2 different hospitals in Uttar Pradesh. The Chief Minister has spoken with the Prime Minister.
Amrit Snan on with crowd control measures. In fact, Chief Minister Yogi has appealed a take bath at closest ghats. Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Shah, full support.
That continues, and this time around is the water war as far as Delhi is concerned. Now, the Election Commission has asked Arvind Kejriwal to substantiate the proof that he is making, the claims that he has been making that the water in Delhi is being poisoned by Haryana. So, a deadline has been given of 8 o'clock this evening to provide proof.
India rejects Canadian Commission's insinuations on interference in elections. MEA underlines it is in fact Canada which has been consistently interfering in India's internal affairs.
And ISRO's 100th launch that has been successful. We're talking about the GSLV rocket that has placed the NVS-02 satellite in orbit. 548 satellites have been launched by ISRO, over 100 launches. So this is ISRO that has hit its century in space.
We start with some tragic news coming in from Mahakumbh. Divya, several devotees appeared injured after stampede broke out in early hours today. This is just ahead of Amrit Snan on Mauni Amavasya.
Right, this is the most significant as far as the Mahakumbh is concerned, that Amrit Snan. So this is the grandest of all as far as this 45-day Mahakumbh festival is concerned. So the stampede that really took place was because, you know, a sea of people that you can see on your screens have arrived in Prayagraj. They arrived yesterday for that Amrit Snan. They gathered at the Sangam at about 12 o'clock at night, and this stampede that happened as the barricades near the Sangam were broken after that crowd, which is close to about 5 crore people, that you know, caused that stampede. This was because there were too many people in number. There was some pushing, and that led to some people falling, and that really led to the stampede. The visuals that you see on your screen of the number of people that have gathered, 10 crore in all for the Amrit Snan. And there were ambulances in place that took the injured to 2 different hospitals. And the government in Uttar Pradesh has said that, of course, this is the most grandest of you know, as far as the Mahakumbh is concerned, and this is the day when many people had gathered. But now the government is ensuring that all measures are in place. Everything is going as planned. Everything is under control, Radhika. And the you know, Chief Minister has spoken with the Prime Minister, and we are expecting Yogi Adityanath to you know, come out and you know, give us an official statement as to what really led to the stampede, and also a health update on those 30 people who were injured.
Right. Absolutely. We are awaiting some official confirmation and details as to what exactly transpired, and of course the number of injured as well. And we are yet to really know whether people have died in this incident. So UP government, of course, saying the second and most important one of the Snan, which is the Amrit Snan, is going on with full crowd control measures. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also appealing to devotees to take the dip at the ghats closest to them and not really go to the Sangam. This after the stampede occurred near the Sangam. In fact, he has of course called for a meeting with top officials at his residence in Lucknow. Of course, he has taken stock of the situation. As you mentioned, Prime Minister Modi also speaking to UP Chief Minister multiple times, Divya.
That's right, Radhika. So from what we are hearing now is that the situation is under control. That is what the officials are saying, even though this is a day when 10 crore devotees have gathered at Prayagraj. Let's just go across to our colleagues from the ground. We have Sikta joining us to get us more on this. Sikta, the Amrit Snan, formerly known as the Shahi Snan, is the grandest and the most sacred ritual of the Mahakumbh Mela, which draws millions of pilgrims from across the world. 10 crore devotees expected today. And the government there issuing an advisory asking all devotees to treat the ghats as equal to the Sangam and not really wait to reach the Sangam. What are the measures that the government is taking in order to ensure no untoward incident takes place? We do know what happened late last night, early this morning. Get us details of how did that happen and how is the government ensuring that it doesn't happen again?
Well, it's really unfortunate what happened last night at Sangam. Actually, what actually has happened in this Mela Shet, in this Mela area, is the people who are coming here are coming a night before the Snan day. So there were crores of people waiting here for the morning to break, and they were waiting for their holy dips, and that's when the crowd was just coming forward towards the Sangam Ghat, and that's when some women here felt suffocated, were feeling unwell because it was too crowded. You can imagine it's a small space here, and how crores and crores of people are just moving towards the water. That's when they felt suffocated, and that's when somebody pushed, and then the stampede happened. Well, all the right details are yet to come. They are all admitted in the hospital. The medical team is taking care of them. While right here, a lot of steps have been taken so that whatever happened in the morning is not repeated. Right behind me is this path which was barricaded for the akharas to come for their holy dip. And that's when the akharas decided after the incident that they will delay or will not take their holy dip, whatever they're deciding right now. That around 11 o'clock they will take a final call whether they want to come for their holy dip. So right now this path which was barricaded, and people, the regular pilgrims, had only one entry point, that was towards that end to go towards the Sangam Ghat. That's when the crowd was not manageable. That's when the local administration, the state government, decided that they will open this barricade here right in front of us. If you can see, they opened this barricade, and the crowd which was waiting that side started moving towards the Sangam for their holy dip. And that's when the crowd, the situation here got under control, while the akharas showed a big heart, and they announced that they will wait for the regular pilgrims to complete their holy dips, because not only from all across India but from all over the world, people are thronging here, because Mauni Amavasya is a big day. This Mahakumbh is coming after 144 years, so with its religious relevance, its importance, everybody understands, and the seers have taken this decision that they will wait and see if the crowd is manageable by the admin. That's when they'll decide and come for the holy dip. So that's a big decision, and that's what is happening right now at Sangam, Divya and Radhika.
Right, Sikta, I also wanted to ask you, of course, we believe UP Chief Minister has taken high-level meeting. He might be addressing media anytime, so there could be some clarity on what exactly happened and perhaps on the number of injured as well. But has security measures been enhanced post the incident? What kind of crowd control measures are you seeing now?
Well, around 40,000 plus security personnel have been deployed around this Mela area, and here we can see mounted police who are keeping a close eye on the devotees who are reaching here. There are paramilitary forces all around. They're also keeping an eye on the devotees, because we have got these reports that in some time the akharas might decide, if the number of people subside here, they might come for their holy dip, because it is an important day for the akharas also. So the security personnel are at it. They are also doubling up as the Sahayaks, because there are so many people who are not feeling well because they have been waiting since last night for this holy dip. So they are rushing them to the hospital if they're not feeling well. Somebody's feeling dizzy, somebody's fainting. So all that is going on right now. But for crowd management, after the barricades were opened, there is it's a big relief because the situation looks under control, but the sea of people which you can see right behind me is not stopping. I don't think so. This whole religious congregation, which is the biggest in the world of human congregation, is going to end today. The 10 crore people are expected to come for the holy dip, and people are entering from that end point, if you can see, if the cameras can capture that. So this is going to go on till late night, if I can say so. So the admin has a big challenge to control this crowd. There are separate entry points for Sangam and a separate exit point so that people don't come in way of each other. So that's helping a lot. And this barricade, this path which was closed for the seers, has opened up. So a big relief for the pilgrims and the administration for now. And the situation at Sangam is under control.
Right, Sikta, of course, you know, that holy dip, of course, that was slightly delayed. We're talking about in the past 17 days, the Mahakumbh has already witnessed over 15 crore pilgrims. But today, 10 crore pilgrims have, you know, gathered for that holy dip. Take us through the significance as far as Moni Amavasya is concerned, and also the kind of arrangements that are in place as far as the medical teams are concerned for any sort of eventuality.
There are these free ambulances which are stationed here at the Ghat. There are hospitals at various sectors of the Mela which are operational, run by the government. So that's where the injured, the people who were not feeling well were rushed today morning in the ambulances. So there are ambulances all around when we walk around this Mela, whether it's akharas or this side of the river where the regular pilgrims come and stay. So medical facilities are in place. It is actually humanly not possible, if I can say that, if 10 crore people converge at a point where there is a small area for a dip, and they all want to go there for that dip. So that's why CM Yogi Adityanath has in fact tweeted and requested the pilgrims to take their dips in whichever river bank they are closer to. They need not come to Sangam. Sangam is the place where Ganga, Yamuna and the invisible Saraswati converge. It's a confluence of these three rivers. So the relevance of this Sangam dip is quite important on Moni Amavasya day, and maybe that's the reason these crores and crores of people who are coming to Prayagraj from all over the country don't want to take that dip in other banks which are there created by the government, so that somebody who doesn't want to walk that much, that long a distance to Sangam can take a dip in Yamuna or Ganga. But people who want to really use this day, the Moni Amavasya day, which has huge religious significance, and especially Moni Amavasya, which comes during Magh Mela or the Kumbh Mela, is really significant in
Maria joining
religious
us
textbooks. So maybe
on the
that's
story.
why
Maria,
everybody
what is
wants
the
to come
kind
to
of
the
response you're getting from the centre? We believe Prime Minister Modi has spoken to UP CM multiple times, and he is taking stock of the situation. But there's no clarity on how many people have been left injured or whether people have died. So when can we expect an official confirmation on what exactly transpired and how many people have been injured in this incident?
Yes, so that will be coming from the UP government in some time from now. But overall, what we can tell our viewers at the moment is that the Prime Minister has been continuously monitoring the developing situation in Kumbh, and he's in touch with the state government officials. In fact, he has spoken to the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, almost 3 times, and he's also issuing directions to ensure that the situation normalizes, because let's not forget that the number of people who are present in Mahakumbh, even as we speak, is close to few crores. So, this can create some degree of panic, which could lead to, movement towards the station in particular, and the government certainly doesn't want the situation to be aggravated. But politics, as we are seeing, is also playing out. We have heard from Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief, who has questioned the level of preparations which were put in place by the UP government. There are concerns at multiple levels as well. But for the moment, what we can tell our viewers is that that the entire monitoring is happening right at the top, at the level of the Prime Minister's office.
Right, Maria, of course, from what we do know is that the Chief Minister of the state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, has spoken with Prime Minister Modi 3 times over since late last night, early this morning. When we talk about the kind of arrangements that are in place, you've spoken about the kind of people, 45 crore people are expected to be in Prayagraj for the Mahakumbh, which is 45 days long. But out of which 10 crore people have gathered today itself, 5 crore of whom were gathering near the Sangam late last night, early this morning. They were in Prayagraj late last night, and of course they were waiting for the daybreak in order to take that holy dip. But there was some sort of pushing, and that led to people falling, and that led to a stampede. Maria, take us through the kind of arrangements that are in place that we've been reporting since day one of the Mahakumbh, and what are the kind of medical facilities that are available, and besides that, the cameras and the security, the police personnel, what all is on the ground in order to, in order to sort of, ensure that there's no eventuality that takes place?
Yes, so the number of cops that are deployed on the ground is certainly huge. There is administration not just of Prayagraj, where the Mahakumbh is being held, but the entire UP police has congregated in many ways there. The DGP of UP has been, monitoring as well. The level of preparations only 24 hours ago were assessed again by Home Minister Amit Shah, who had gone there for the holy dip at the Sangam. Then you saw, Yogi Adityanath being in and out of Prayagraj, trying to get trying to ensure that if there are any gaps that are filled in. But overall, there are CCTV cameras, there are medical relief vans which are present. There are several, because it's a tent city which has been created over several kilometers. So in order to ensure that even if people, if there is a case of medical emergency such as today, there are doctors that are deployed as well. So, perhaps in the next few minutes or an hour, we'll get clarity over the number of casualties. But the UP government did face questions midway through by some, mostly people in opposition, and even some of those who had congregated at Prayag. But the larger question certainly remains, what led to the stampede? The cause of the stampede is not known. The number of casualties is not known. The number of injured is still not clear. But what we can tell our viewers is that efforts are being made to normalize the situation, given even as we speak, the number of people who are there is huge. And in order that the situation doesn't go out of control, all precautions are being taken, is what sources in the government and the Prime Minister's office are telling us.
All right, thank you, Maria, for getting us all those important details. Let's go back to Sikta, who's joining us from Prayagraj. Sikta, things you said are under control at this point. People are continuing to go back and do their dips. But we've been given to understand that collapse of barriers is what led to this. But if you can tell us approximately how many people were present at the time of the incident in that particular spot? Do we have any details of that?
Well, this place, Sangam, is thronged with people at all times, if I can say. And if you look around, people come back from the dip, sit down on the ground, wait, rest, even sleep. So at night, there may be hundreds of people around, and they were waiting for the morning to break and take the holy day. But that's when I think the crowd started converging here, and those people who were already waiting or sleeping here on the ground must have got suffocated because the number of people were gradually increasing at the Sangam Ghat, and most of them wanted to take the dip before the akharas arrived. So that's when we believe the initial reports say that the few women started feeling suffocated. They wanted to get up, but there were people from the back who were pushing them. So those are the initial reports. We really need to know, and we are waiting for the official statement from the government. What happened actually? What led to that incident when around 20 people were taken in ambulances for their treatment to the hospital, and their treatment is still on at the hospital, which is in the Mela. Initial reports do suggest it was overcrowding and then suffocation which led to this incident. But right now you can still see the people are walking in. Most of them, if you can see, they have taken the dips. They're sitting here in the sun, soaking the whole ambulance, and then they move on. So the one request which is continuously being made here by the administration is like, take your dip, change your clothes and just move on, so that the people who are still coming in into the Mela area, who are waiting for their turn to take the dip, get a chance, and there's no overcrowding at Sangam. So in spite of those announcements, in spite of those appeals, in spite of those requests by the administration and the police personnel, the pilgrims here, the devotees here have gathered. So something like this must have happened at night too. People must be resting, sitting, waiting, and then the crowd must have converged, and too many people, and then the pushing, and which must have led to that stampede and that unfortunate incident at night.
Of course, from what we can see, that it hasn't really deterred any of the devotees from taking that holy dip, which was slightly delayed early in the morning. Take us through the significance of this grandest and most sacred ritual as far as the Mahakumbh Mela is concerned. We talked about the Amrit Snan on the occasion of the Mauni Amavasya. What is the significance of this? Because from what we are hearing is today is the day when they're expecting the maximum number of people that will be visiting Prayagraj, visiting the Mahakumbh. Take us through its significance. And it's everything seems to be going smoothly now, because we even saw Hema Malini take a dip, and she's spoken about that everything went off smoothly and that it was a very auspicious day, and she managed to get that take that holy dip at the Sangam.
Right, yeah. Mauni Amavasya comes according to Hindu calendar in the month of Magh, which is right now. But Mauni Amavasya during a Kumbh Mela, during the Kumbh fair, is considered religiously very important, very sacred. And that's why this belief which has got these people to Prayagraj from all over the country, they want to come and take this holy dip, because it's come after 144 years. Is one day they don't want to miss out, and this is the very reason that this is the biggest snan of this 45 days of Kumbh Mela. This is the day where these pilgrims take their dips, offer prayers to their ancestors. Mauni Amavasya means remembering to be silent. Maun means silent in Hindi, so it's silent prayers for ancestors. So they come, take the dip, pray for their ancestors and leave. So this Mauni Amavasya, which is falling during the Kumbh Mela, is considered very important, sacred, and that's why this whole belief and faith which has driven these crores and crores of people for today to come and take that holy dip, while
very quickly,
sadhus and akharas have shown a big heart.
Sikta, very quickly, if you could tell us which are the other significant days in the ongoing Mahakumbh.
So the next snan is on the Basant Panchami day, which falls on 3rd of February, and after that, the last snan is on the Mahashivratri day, and that's when officially the Kumbh Mela ends and the akharas return to their permanent ashram. So two more big snans coming up. Basant Panchami snan is another day when the akharas will come out for the Amrit Snan, and then Mahashivratri is a regular snan day where the pilgrims will come and offer prayers to Shiv. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Sikta, for getting us a sense of the significance of this day. Of course, we'll wait for that official confirmation about the details of the stampede. But for now, we'll slip it a short break.
So far as 30 people have been taken to 2 different hospitals because of the stampede that took place late last night, early this morning. We will keep tracking the story, slipping into a short break for now.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए और साथ ही इनवाइट करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank
And
you.
Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big fan of your work, so this is a pinch me moment for sure. I don't believe any screen is too big or small. It's a screen at the end of the day, and the world is developing so fast. There's so many changes that are being made, so I think we're all just keeping up with the times.
Ananya, the fact is that 2024, this year has been phenomenal for you. One success after another. Kahan Kho Gaye Hum, Call Me Bae, CTRL. How does it feel to have multiple successes in one single year?
It's really a dream come true. I really think this year for me, more than ever, I felt very connected to my fans with Kho Gaye Hum Kahan and Call Me Bae and Control. I've done movies in the past, but this is the first time that I felt true love.
Welcome back. On Mahakumbh Stampede incident, Divya, several devotees appeared injured after stampede broke out in the early hours today. This was just ahead of Amrit Snan, and this is, of course, the auspicious day of Mauni Amavasya. So, tragic incident there, but we are awaiting for official confirmation as to how many people have been injured in this particular incident.
Radhika, from what we know so far is 30 people were rushed to 2 different hospitals in Prayagraj after the stampede that took place late last night, early this morning. And from what we really are hearing from our sources on the ground is the stampede happened as barricades near the Sangam were broken. A crowd surge is what led to people being pushed. And while people were being pushed, some believed to have fallen, and while they fell, that is what really led to that stampede. This was just ahead of the Amrit Snan. There were crores of people that reached Prayagraj. 10 crore in all are the devotees that have reached Prayagraj for that Amrit Snan. And we have our colleague Sunil joining us to get us more on this. Sunil, it is the opposition now that has hit out at the administration and the government of Uttar Pradesh, hitting out particularly at Yogi Adityanath for the kind of arrangements that are in place. But given the fact that 10 crore people gathered on the most grandest scale of the Mahakumbh, today is the most auspicious day for which, the state was really prepared for the kind of turnout that gathered for the Snan. But it is basically, what really happened late last night, perhaps before the Amrit Snan, is when this tragedy unfolded.
That's right. As you rightly pointed out, I think the opposition leaders from the Samajwadi Party chief, Akhilesh Yadav, to, Congress President, Mr. Karge, to the Aam Aadmi Party, as well as others, Mayawati, all, giving specific directions and steps and suggestions to the government. Of course, the Chief Minister is in charge of this entire affair, and he's in the control room, but they have said, specifically what needs to be done. Those who have been injured should be immediately rushed to nearby hospitals, and, proper care should be taken. The helicopters should be used. India there's been a huge preparation that has taken place. And it's in that backdrop, I think, certain suggestions have been given. This is really tragic on an auspicious day like this to see, after a huge amount of preparation and a big build-up, we are seeing these unfortunate incidents that have taken place. Definitely, crowd management is something that should have and could have been better, but we leave that for a different day. At present, I think the opposition and others tweeting, apart from criticizing the government, is giving specific measures to ensure that people can get the best medical attention and ensure that those who have been injured must be rescued at the earliest. And we'll await for the details, as you rightly said. At present, it's still not yet clear what exactly is the clear picture in terms of what has happened in the stampede and how people have lost their lives.
All right. Thank you, Sunil, for getting us those details. We'll get to Maria on this. Maria, even as we are awaiting official confirmation on what exactly happened, Prime Minister Modi, of course, speaking to UP Chief Minister multiple times and assuring support. Home Minister Amit Shah and Health Minister JP Nadda have also spoken to Chief Minister. So yes, we will get you all the details from Maria as well. But the latest is that Prime Minister Modi there, having spoken to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath several times, assuring support. Besides that, several central ministers have also spoken to UP Chief Minister. We will perhaps get an official word from UP Chief Minister himself. In fact, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Divya, has been appealing to devotees to take the holy dip at the ghats closest to them and not go to the Sangam. So this is what he has instructed. In fact, he's also called a meeting of top officials at his residence in Lucknow.
Right, of course, the Prime Minister has spoken to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister. From what we're hearing is literally thrice over. He's assured all the support. The Home Minister Amit Shah and Health Minister JP Nadda has also spoken, like you mentioned. But from what the Chief Minister is really saying is that everything is under control. The authorities have taken the matter very, very seriously. All arrangements are in place. There's nothing to worry, and not to really give in to those rumors. There are a lot of rumors that are floating around. But what we're really seeing is that everything is now being carried out quite smoothly from the people that our reporters have spoken to on the ground. They have continued with the holy dip, which was perhaps delayed early this morning. Of course, that Amrit Snan, the most sacred, the most auspicious day as far as the Mahakumbh is concerned. 10 crore people have gathered, and that, it is continuing as far as the Mela is concerned. There was a slight delay, but from what we do know is that there was a stampede that took place where 30 people got injured because they were being being pushed and they were trapped. That is what we are hearing from our sources on the ground, is that those people who got pushed, they had no escape route, they got trapped, they fell, and that's what led to the stampede. Now, of course, the Chief Minister of the state, Yogi Adityanath, is going to come out with that official word on what really led to the stampede and how many people have actually been injured, what is the health update of those 30 people who have been rushed to 2 different hospitals in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We do know 1,000 medical personnel are on the ground in the Mahakumbh area itself. There are 300 doctors who have been deployed in various hospitals in Uttar Pradesh, in Prayagraj, to take care of any sort of eventuality. We do know there are multiple...
Right, Divya, and also what we are hearing is that Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has in fact spoken to saints of Akhada Parishad as well. In fact, UP Chief Minister speaking to Akhada chiefs. That's the latest information we're gathering. It has been said that situation is getting normal, and we know that as per tradition, the saints of Akhada will take a bath and care will be taken to ensure that devotees do not face any inconvenience. That's assurance that have been given, assurance that has been given. UP Chief Minister there assures Akhada chiefs, and he has spoken to Akhada chiefs, ensure devotees are not inconvenienced, is an assurance that has been given at this point. In fact, Akhada chiefs had avoided a dip due to the stampede incident. Let's go to Maria. Maria, of course, even as we are awaiting official confirmation there, Prime Minister Modi speaking to UP Chief Minister multiple times, assuring support. We know the other central ministers, including Home Minister Amit Shah and JP Nadda, have also spoken to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath.
Yes, that's right. And Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister himself is, monitoring the situation from the control room, because there's a control room that has been established at Prayag itself and very close to the tent city, which was built by, of course, the UP government. The DGP of Uttar Pradesh, senior cops, the Chief Secretary, all of them are at the control room to ensure that, whatever has happened. Now, even as we speak, there is a huge congregation of, seers and devotees and believers who are there at Kumbh. They should not be inconvenienced, and those who want to take the dip in the holy Sangam, they should be given a chance, and proper crowd management actually happens. What we are now being told is that the Chief Minister has also spoken to the seers of Akhada Parishad, and he has assured them that the tradition of bath should continue and that devotees will not be facing any more inconvenience going ahead. So as we have been saying, this entire monitoring is happening right at the top, at the level of the Prime Minister's office, with the Prime Minister himself giving instructions, and he's constantly in touch with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister as well. There are concerns that whether, the overall number of casualties could rise, but at the moment there is a great degree of precaution that is being taken.
Right, Maria, of course, out of 45 crore people expected to take a holy dip during the entire 45-day long Mahakumbh, 10 crore people have gathered today itself. But there are 2 more Amrit Snans that are going to take place. That's going to happen on the 3rd of February, followed by the 26th, the last day of the Mahakumbh. What kind of, as far as the lessons that one can perhaps learn from the incident that took place early this morning in regard to the Sangam itself? Because now from what we're hearing is the Chief Minister saying don't wait to get to the Sangam, but to take a holy dip wherever they are. So will there be some sort of changes in the protocols?
Possible, because this entire process of organizing and monitoring of the gathering actually happens to ensure that the goal is to make the entire environment safe and secure. If the safety of the devotees is now being put to question, given the number of casualties which are being reported from this stampede, there are concerns, because look, what happens is that the entire movement from the tent city where the devotees and the believers actually stay to the point where one can go and take the dip is close to 8 to 10 kilometers. That's a long walk, and invariably what happens is that there is a space or movement which requires devotees to walk quite a bit. So in order to ensure that there is a proper crowd management, there has been deployment that has happened by the Uttar Pradesh government and the administration, but the concerns are largely that that nothing more should happen now. And that is the reason why we are seeing the entire, control room being established and the management being taken care of by the top officials of the UP government, the UP Chief Secretary, and also the DGP.
Right. Maria, also looks like, all right, so after UP CM's word with the Akharas, they may continue Amrit Snan. So earlier they had halted it due to stampede, but hopefully they'll be more careful and crowd control measures will be enhanced and precautions will be taken. But what we are hearing now is that the Amrit Snan by the Akharas will continue after Chief Minister's assurance.
Right, Radhika, of course, the Chief Minister of the state monitoring the situation from the control room, having spoken to the Prime Minister time and again, assuring now that Akhada chiefs that the situation is getting normal. They are ensuring that everyone present in Prayagraj at the Mahakumbh, that no inconvenience will be faced by the people there gathered on the auspicious day of the Moni Amavasya, and that, everything would be going smoothly as planned, as the government is prepared for 10 crore people who have gathered today for the most sacred day of the Mela.
Right, let's move on now. This is on Delhi polls. A lot of drama and theatrics just ahead of Delhi polls there. Divya, Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal now been asked by EC to furnish proof backing his allegations that BJP government in Haryana has poisoned Yamuna water. So Arvind Kejriwal had made some serious allegations there.
Absolutely. He's gone on to say that the water in Delhi is being poisoned by Haryana and also other BJP ruled states. That is the allegation that's been made by Arvind Kejriwal. Now, the Election Commission is saying, give us proof, provide that proof, and there's a deadline that's been given by the Election Commission of 8 o'clock this evening, and saying that, really substantiate those claims that are being made, because otherwise these are very serious allegations that could really create animosity between states and that can carry a provision of a 3-year jail term, Radhika.
That's right. In fact, as far as this entire incident is concerned, Kejriwal had claimed on Monday that BJP was mixing poison in city's water supply in an attempt to create chaos, hoping that the blame will fall on his party's administration.
Right, that the Aam Aadmi Party will get blamed for the water issue, and these claims, however, have been contested as far as the Jal Board is concerned, saying that this could really lead to fear-mongering. And we have our colleague Ishika joining us. Ishika, the Election Commission there saying that, these are very serious allegations. You need to substantiate these claims. You can't just sit there in the run-up to Delhi elections, say that the water in Delhi is being poisoned, because this is really going to bring about a lot of fear as far as Delhiites are concerned. So the Chief Minister has, the former Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, has up till about 8 o'clock this evening to provide proof.
Well, yes, in fact, that is what the Election Commission had to say after both, in fact, the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP delegation met with the Election Commission over Arvind Kejriwal's big allegation that it is, in fact, the Haryana government that is, poisoning the water of Yamuna that is being released to Delhi. In fact, Election Commission has given a deadline of today, 8 p.m. for Arvind Kejriwal to give evidence for the claim that he has made so far. Now, remember that yesterday, when in fact the Aam Aadmi Party delegation went to the Election Commission, they had asked that a committee be formed with Haryana officials and Delhi officials along with the Election Commission's intervention so that the water is tested. Now, apart from that, if we talk about the BJP, well, the BJP has said that all of these allegations by Arvind Kejriwal are baseless and had also asked the Election Commission to ban Arvind Kejriwal from campaigning in the Delhi elections anymore. Now, in fact, not just that, we have also seen that the Lieutenant Governor of the national capital has also now intervened in the matter. And yesterday, he has written a letter to the Chief Minister, Atashi, saying that such irresponsible and baseless statement by one state to another only promotes disharmony and also creates fear among the people. He has also in his letter taken a dig at Arvind Kejriwal, saying that this is not new of Arvind Kejriwal. Kejriwal to make such baseless statements, and had also asked the government as to what has it done to clear the Yamuna. So certainly the political war of words only continue over the Yamuna, but remains to be seen that will Arvind Kejriwal be able to furnish the evidence for the big claim that he made. Over to you.
Right, thank you so much, Ishika, for joining us with all those details. We will keep tracking the story. Of course, we do know there's a deadline of 8 o'clock, and of course, the Aam Aadmi Party, they're making quite a few claims against the BJP-ruled state of Haryana. And now let's just get you the very latest in far as actor Saif Ali Khan's stabbing case is concerned. And now this is the police there coming out in its defense amid conspiracy theories, conflicting reports and widespread criticism regarding the investigation into the attack. The Mumbai police has now reassured and have substantial and compelling evidence saying that, they've really got the right man. Whether it will, these claims that are being made as far as fingerprints are concerned, but they've said that they have, not just oral, but they have like 3 proofs that, point in the direction that they really have the right man in hand. Radhika.
Absolutely. In fact, technical and circumstantial evidence points to this person as something that the Additional Commissioner of Police yesterday said in that particular press conference. But the report of the fingerprint examination, which is under question, is something that the police is awaiting. Now, today, once again, the accused will be produced before the court as this custody ends. Let's go straight across to Anuj. Anuj, a lot of questions being raised on the probe, a lot of loopholes being spoken about, conspiracy theories as far as this entire case is concerned. But yesterday we saw Mumbai police coming out, giving those clarifications, saying they have got the right person. Today is another important day because the accused will be produced before the court again. Perhaps more clarity on what has come from the probe will come when he gets produced before the court. Take us through what can be expected.
Yesterday evening, we saw that the police here tried to come out clean on all the allegations that are being made against them, ranging from how the person who's seen in the CCTV footage and the person who's been caught by the police, the face doesn't really match, to the news about how, the reports, the leaked reports suggest that the 19 fingerprints that were found at multiple locations of Saif's house do not match with that of the accused. However, the police yesterday tried to make it very clear that they found all the evidence that they've collected could easily be distributed into 3 categories, that is physical, oral and technical. And all of these 3 categories are in line with the fact that the person that they've arrested and the person who is the prime accused in this case, Shariful Islam, is indeed the one who is in all likeliness be guilty in this particular case, or, to have been present at that very particular spot. Now, we are present outside the Bandra Metropolitan Court, where the accused will be presented in a very short while from now onwards. His second police custody ends today. He was given a 4-day-long police custody last time around when the police stated that there are still some important pieces of evidence that they are looking at. And hence, for more development on the case, we saw that the court increased the police custody by 4 more days, and hence it is ending today. Yesterday, the police also confirmed that a team of the Mumbai police was sent to West Bengal, where they found out the SIM card holder of the SIM card holder, which was being used by this particular individual. The police also told us that when Shariful Islam entered India from Bangladesh, he spent a few days in Kolkata and he was in touch with a few people there who are also considered to be clients. And these are the people against whom they are still trying to gather more amount of evidence. But a bigger question is, why is it taking so long for the police to get the CID report on the fingerprints? And is there any sort of an inconsistency with what they are claiming and what they have in their hand? That is expected to become clear here in today's proceeding.
Right, Anuj, thank you so much for joining us with those details. And of course, the custody, that the Mumbai police has of the attacker, that comes to an end, and which is why they will be produced in court. And of course, on the other side, the manager of Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor have come out and said that not to really take pictures as far as the kids are concerned. And this is the directive that they have come out with. And these are the measures that they are taking on their end and asking the media not to photograph Taimur and Jay. Well, let's just get you the latest as far as the JPC is concerned. And Radhika, moving on to more news, that is a draft report on the Waqf bill, which is set to be discussed in today's JPC meeting. And all opposition MPs will be are expected to give their dissent. This is after a joint parliamentary committee that voted in favor of 14 alterations to the draft version of the Waqf Amendment Bill, which had been tabled in the Lok Sabha in August last year and seeks to make 44 contentious changes to the way Muslim charitable properties are managed in the country.
That's right. The 14 alterations include distinguishing between mandatory to non-Muslim members as specified in the original draft of the bill and nominated ex officio members, Muslim or non-Muslim. This means Waqf councils, whether at state or pan-India levels, will have to at least 2 and possibly more if the nominated ex officio members are also not Muslim members, not from the Islamic faith. So for more on this, we're joined by Prashant. Prashant, of course, a draft report on Waqf set to be discussed in today's JPC meeting. All opposition MPs to give dissent notes there. Take us through what can be expected. We believe that opposition had said they didn't have enough time to really go through the draft report.
That's right. DMK leader and one of the members of the committee, A. Raja, tweeted yesterday. He tweeted yesterday that he was not given ample time to read the draft report, which was circulated yesterday only. And the report runs into, I think, around 600 pages. And he has said that they wanted to read that report and then submit their note of dissent if required. But today is going to be the last day of the last meeting of the JPC. I talked to Jagdambika Pal yesterday, and he confirmed to me that this was going to be the last meeting. Today, the meeting will adopt the report, and in a couple of days' time from today, they will also, after the report is adopted today, obviously, I mean, there will be a vote because opposition members will oppose the adoption of the report. But since the government has the number, it will see through. So in the next couple of days, Jagdambika Pal will submit the report to the speaker, and then speaker will make the report. In the first week of the next parliament session, the report will be laid in both the houses.
Right. Thank you so much, Prashant. We will keep tracking that story and coming back to you for more on that. Let's just get you more news coming in a scathing attack. It's India's Ministry of External Affairs that has rejected Canada's Foreign Interference Commission report, which painted India as the second most active country in foreign electoral meddling, this too after China, Radhika.
That's right. New Delhi fired back, turning the tables and accusing Canada of chronic interference in India's internal affairs, creating a breeding ground for illegal migration and organized crime. Maha Siddiqui has the details.
India's response came pretty quickly, where India said that it not only denies these allegations, but also said that, in fact, it is Canada that has been interfering in India's internal affairs. And this is an argument that India has been, in fact, holding not from the Niger issue, but from the time when the farmers' protest took place. And you remember that Prime Minister Trudeau at that time had made a statement, and that time too India had said that Canada should refrain from making any comments about India's internal issues. So this is the response of the Ministry of External Affairs now to this report that has been put out, this report by the Commissioner, Hope. There were 100 witnesses whose testimonies have been recorded in this, and this follows a report last year that came out in June, which was by the intelligence watchdog in Canada. This report tones down some of the points that were made in the earlier report, but still holds China and India as two of the responsible parties for having allegedly tried to interfere in Canadian election process. And it, however, said that the outcome of the elections were such that they could not make any impact on that. However, after this report, India, as we have just pointed out, has responded to this, saying that this is something that is that India denies.
Right. Thank you so much, Maha, for joining us from all the way from Vancouver and getting us all those details. Switching tracks now to more news, and that's ISRO that's hit its maiden century of big rocket launches. ISRO successfully launched its 100th rocket mission by placing an Indian-made satellite in a precise orbit. Radhika.
That's right. The Indian Space Research Organization, which is ISRO, as you mentioned, successfully launched the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle rocket carrying the second generation navigation satellite. This happened at 6:23 a.m. today from India's only rocket port at Sriharikota.
That's right, and of course, it is, ISRO hitting its maiden century into space, and of course, we have. Let's just get you the latest in regard to the ISRO chief, Dr. V. Narayanan, who has, a lot to say about this big feat from ISRO.
Congratulations to the GSLV team, project team, and also to all the launch vehicle community for making this launch perfect one. Congratulations to the project team of NVS02 and all the satellite stakeholders who have made this spacecraft realized in time for this launch. I can now declare that the spacecraft has been injected very precisely with very small rates, rock steady injection, and the two solar arrays have been deployed and power generation has been confirmed, and the rest of the activities will be continued from the control center at URSC.
And that's ISRO hitting its maiden century of the big rocket launch, the 100th rocket mission, by placing an Indian-made satellite in a precise orbit. Radhika.
Certainly a big milestone. On that note, we come to the end of this bulletin. Stay tuned for more updates.
Lots more coming up on the other side with our colleague Parmeshwar. Do stay tuned.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए, और साथ ही invite करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you.
And Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big...
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
It's 10 a.m. You are watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. Our big focus continues to be Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj, where the Mahakumbh Mela is taking place, and there was a stampede situation reported early this morning. We'll get you all the latest details on that front. Let's begin with the top headlines you need to know. Multiple people are injured after a stampede situation broke out at the Sangam in Prayagraj earlier this morning amid the ongoing Mahakumbh. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and the police chief are in the Lucknow control room. Yogi Adityanath has appealed to all the pilgrims to avoid the Sangam and take baths at the ghats. This as Prime Minister Modi dials Yogi Adityanath multiple times to take stock of the situation. As reports of injuries come in without any confirmation on the number of casualties in the stampede situation in Prayagraj, the opposition has blamed the Yogi government. In fact, the opposition says mismanaged led to the mishap.
भारी भीड़ है। लगभग 8 से 10 करोड़ श्रद्धालु इस समय प्रयागराज के अंदर मौजूद है। कल भी 5.5 करोड़ श्रद्धालु जनों ने महाकुंभ का स्नान किया था। ये जो भारी दबाव श्रद्धालु जनों के कारण और श्रद्धालुओं के संगम नोच पर जाने के कारण वहाँ पर एक बना हुआ है, लेकिन पूरा प्रशासन मौके पे वहाँ मौजूद है। रात्रि को 1 से 2 बजे के बीच में अखाड़ा मार्ग पर, जहाँ पे अखाड़ों के अमृत स्नान के दृश्य से बैरिकेड्स भी किए गए थे, तो बैरिकेड्स को फांद करके आने में कुछ श्रद्धालु गंभीर रूप से घायल हुए हैं। उन्हें तत्काल हॉस्पिटल में पहुंचा करके उपचार आदि की व्यवस्था उनके लिए की गई है। उनमें से कुछ श्रद्धालु गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं। लगातार प्रशासन स्थानीय स्तर पर श्रद्धालुओं की सकुशल स्नान कराने के दृष्टि से रात्रि को कल सायंकाल 6:30-7 बजे से ही मौनी अमावस्या का मुहूर्त प्रारंभ होने के बाद से ही लगातार लगा हुआ है। प्रयागराज में महाकुंभ में श्रद्धालु जनों के सकुशल स्नान करने, अमृत स्नान के लिए देश भर से आए हुए श्रद्धालु जनों की व्यवस्था के लिए, उनके कुशल क्षेम के लिए आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का प्रातःकाल से ही उनके लगभग 4 बार प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हालचाल लिया है। माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने, माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष भारतीय जनता पार्टी श्री जेपी नड्डा जी ने, माननीय गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी ने भी, और प्रदेश की माननीय राज्यपाल श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल जी ने भी लगातार जानकारी लेकर के सभी के कुशल क्षेम और सकुशल स्नान कराने के बारे में निरंतर रिपोर्ट ले रहे हैं। हम लोगों की प्रातःकाल से ही श्रद्धालुजन जो भी आए हैं वे स्नान कर सकें, इसके लिए यहाँ पे उच्च स्तरीय बैठक भी चल रही है, जिसमें मुख्य सचिव भी हैं, डीजीपी हैं, प्रमुख सचिव गृह हैं, मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय के अपर मुख्य सचिव के साथ एडीजी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के साथ साथ अन्य वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण मौजूद हैं। प्रयागराज में हालात वर्तमान में नियंत्रण में हैं, लेकिन भीड़ का दबाव बहुत बना हुआ है। अखाड़ा परिषद से जुड़े हुए पदाधिकारियों के साथ मैंने स्वयं भी बातचीत की है। आचार्य महामंडलेश्वरों से भी, पूज्य संतों के साथ भी मेरी बातचीत हुई है, और पूज्य संतों ने बड़ी ही विनम्रता के साथ इस बात को कहा है कि नहीं, श्रद्धालु जन पहले स्नान करेंगे और फिर जब उनका दबाव कुछ कम होगा और वे सकुशल वहाँ से निकल जाएंगे तब हम लोग स्नान करने के लिए संगम की तरफ जाएंगे। अभी पहले श्रद्धालु जनों को, चूँकि देश भर से आए हैं, तो इसके लिए उन्हें सभी अखाड़े इसके लिए सहमत हैं और सभी लोग इस व्यवस्था के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। लगातार इस दिशा में हम लोगों का प्रयास है कि जो अब तक प्रातः काल से ही आपने देखा होगा, कल मैंने बताया कि कल लगभग 5.5 करोड़ श्रद्धालु कल महाकुंभ का स्नान किए हैं और आज प्रातः काल तक लगभग 8:30 बजे तक 3 करोड़ से अधिक श्रद्धालु स्नान कर चुके हैं और ये लगातार जारी है। लेकिन संगम नोच पर, अखाड़ा मार्ग पर, नागवासुकी मार्ग पर लगातार दबाव बना हुआ है और वहाँ पर श्रद्धालु जनों की सुविधा के लिए भी हर प्रकार की वहाँ पर प्रशासन पूरी मुस्तैदी के साथ लगा हुआ है। और इसीलिए मेरी अपील है पूरे प्रदेशवासियों से, पूरे देशवासियों से और सभी श्रद्धालुओं से भी, सभी पूज्य संतों से भी कि अफवाह पर कोई ध्यान न दें, संयम से काम लें। ये सब आयोजन सभी लोगों का है। प्रशासन उनकी सेवा के लिए पूरी तत्परता के साथ लगा हुआ है। केंद्र और राज्य सरकार पूरी मजबूती के साथ वहाँ पर हर प्रकार का सहयोग करने के लिए तत्पर है। लेकिन कोई किसी अफवाह पे ध्यान न दे। कोई भी व्यक्ति नकारात्मक अफवाह फैलाने का प्रयास करेगा, उस प्रकार से नुकसान हो सकता है। और जहां पर हैं आप, लगभग 15 से 20 किलोमीटर के दायरे में अस्थायी घाट बनाए गए हैं, उसमें कहीं भी वे स्नान कर सकते हैं। आवश्यक नहीं कि संगम नोच की तरफ ही आएं, क्योंकि भीड़ देखते हुए, खासतौर पर जो बुजुर्ग हैं, बच्चे हैं, श्वास के रोगी हैं, उनको लंबी दूरी तय नहीं करनी चाहिए और जहां पर हैं वहीं पर आराम से पहले स्थिर होकर के कार्य करें, वहां पर रह करके। और जो नज़दीक के घाट हैं, उसी नज़दीक के घाट में स्नान करेंगे। सब गंगा जी के ही घाट हैं और गंगा जी के इस घाट में वही पुण्य प्राप्त होगा। ये मौनी अमावस्या है। मौनी अमावस्या में स्नान का महत्व है। संगम में स्नान का दबाव बहुत ज़्यादा है, इसलिए सभी लोग अगर वहाँ पे इसमें अपना सहयोग करेंगे तो सकुशल हम सभी श्रद्धालु जनों को वहाँ पर स्नान करने में सफल होंगे। और फिर इसके उपरांत अमृत स्नान के लिए पूज्य संतों से भी, अखाड़ों से भी हम लोग अनुरोध करेंगे। जो घायल हैं, गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं, उनके उपचार की तत्परता के साथ व्यवस्था भी की गई है। उन सबके सकुशल स्वस्थ होने की भी हम कामना करते हैं। लेकिन मेरी अपील होगी कि कोई भी नकारात्मकता न फैलाने दें और न किसी अफवाह पर विश्वास करें। स्थिति नियंत्रण में है। हाँ, दबाव जरूर है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया कि प्रातःकाल से सुबह 8:30 बजे तक 3 करोड़ से अधिक श्रद्धालु स्नान कर चुके हैं। और पूरे मेला क्षेत्र में अगर हम देखेंगे, प्रयागराज में हम देखेंगे, तो लगभग 9 से 10 करोड़ श्रद्धालु इस समय वहाँ पर मौजूद है, जिसमें से 3 करोड़ यह वापस जा रहा है। इसके लिए रेलवे ने भी मेला स्पेशल लगाई हुई है। प्रातःकाल से लगभग 40 मेला स्पेशल प्रयागराज स्टेशन से, जोशी स्टेशन से, अन्य स्टेशन से श्रद्धालुओं को लेकर के सकुशल स्नान कराने के बाद उनको लेकर के गंतव्य की ओर आगे बढ़ी है। और लगातार ये प्रक्रिया वहाँ पर आगे बढ़ाई जा रही है। होर्डिंग एरिया भी बनाए गए हैं। प्रशासन जो वहाँ पर डायरेक्शन दें, मुझे लगता है सब लोग उसका पालन करेंगे तो सकुशल, क्योंकि पूरा दिन भर देर रात्रि तक अमृत स्नान का मुहूर्त है। मौनी अमावस्या का जो मुहूर्त है पूरे रात्रि भर है। इसलिए ये नहीं हो केवल इस पे कि हम अभी स्नान करेंगे, आवश्यक नहीं, कभी भी आप स्नान कर सकते हैं। तो उस पर जरूर सभी से मेरी विनम्र अपील होगी कि वे लोग उस पर सहयोग करेंगे तो सकुशल सभी को स्नान कराने में और सकुशल इस महापर्व को आयोजित करने में प्रशासन को और शासन को मदद मिलेगी। धन्यवाद।
Well, you've just heard the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister's reaction regarding the stampede situation that broke out earlier this morning. Yogi Adityanath clearly saying that overcrowding caused the stampede situation and triggered it. Officials, meanwhile, from the UP administration are investigating the matter. The UP Chief Minister has added that some are critically injured and they are being treated. In fact, he added that UP administration officials are tending to those injured. But a stampede-like situation broke out at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj earlier this morning ahead of the Amrit Snan on Mauni Amavasya. Casualties are feared as the stampede situation broke out in the Mahakumbh. But according to officials, a large number of pilgrims turned up for a holy bath on the occasion of Mauni Amavasya, which led to this stampede-like situation and injured many, some critically injured. 30 women are reportedly injured and are undergoing treatment at the central hospital that's established in the Mela area. But the Uttar Pradesh government expected 10 crore pilgrims in just one day, and they claimed that they had stepped up security in preparation for this Amrit Snan. As we have been covering, Prime Minister Modi reviewed the situation at the Mahakumbh in a call with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. In fact, Prime Minister Modi is also continuously monitoring the situation at the Mahakumbh and is in constant contact with the state government as well. Vasudha Venugopal has been tracking the latest developments as far as the UP administration's moves are concerned. She joins us over the phone line at the moment. Vasudha, as I mentioned, Prime Minister Modi has spoken with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister multiple times since the stampede situation unfolded at the Sangam this morning. Take us through what they've discussed.
Parmeshwar, it has been an unfortunate, tragic incident, and today is Mauni Amavasya. And just to give context to our viewers, this is one of the 5 most important religious auspicious days marked for, bathing in the Sangam. As we all know, Mahakumbh starts with Makar Sankranti, which is on Posh Purnima, 13th. And then, of course, Mauni Amavasya was the second most important day. Then, of course, there are 3 more important days, which include Basant Panchami, Marg Purnami, and also the last one, which is the Mahashivratri. And there were around 10 crore people that were expected today throughout the day, but around 4-5 crore people landed in Prayagraj, especially on Triveni Sangam last night. Which is around, after midnight. So this incident happened around 1 to 2 p.m. 1 to 2 a.m. is what we understand. And according to Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister, some people tried to break the barricades. There was a lot of, clutter and commotion, and that led to this stampede-like situation. Unfortunately, we don't have an official count of the number of dead and the number of injured people, which is quite, unfortunate because, by now we should have known that, but UP government is also trying to find out details. The rescue and relief work is on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already spoken to Yogi Adityanath at least twice. In fact, Yogi Adityanath said that he has spoken to him 4 times since morning, and there have been continuous meetings, in the PMO and the CMO since 4 a.m. in the morning. Amit Shah, the Home Minister, has been providing logistical support for the center, for the BJP, for the RSS. The Mahakumbh 2025 is very important. It's also a reflection of not just the state's ability to manage a gathering of sorts, the largest gathering of pilgrims in the world, but also in some ways to showcase, India's potential and also, India's civilizational glory. This is something that is very important for the country and for the state of UP. Health Minister JP Nadda has also assured Yogi Adityanath of all support from the party ecosystem. But Yogi Adityanath, of course, has been making constant appeals to the akhadas and to also the pilgrims who have all landed in Prayagraj, asking them to be not to really go to Sangam and not to insist on taking a bath in the Triveni Sangam, specifically use other bathing ghats. In fact, the akhadas in the morning, Parameshwar said that they will not be taking the Amrit Snan today. In fact, they had postponed it. But of course, Ravindra Puri, who's the Akhada Parishad, then said that he would be in talks with the administration and that the akhadas would also be, joining in that Amrit Snan, and that will begin, from in some time from now. What we understand is that the Sangam has been cleared, which is the Triveni Sangam is where the 3 rivers meet, and that is the pivotal point to Prayagraj Mahakumbh. That's where the bath actually, is believed to cleanse you of all your sins, and that is the highlight of Mahakumbh. That area is being cleared now, and the akhadas, the sadhus, all the 13 akhadas, starting with Juna Akhada, which is the oldest, will start taking their Shahi Snan or Amrit Snan in a short while from now, and that will be a reflection of how things are getting normal now. But of course, in hospitals, there are people who have been injured. There is also a number of dead, which we really don't know how many is that. We'll get to know that in a bit. But of course, UP government and centre keeping an eye on this. These incidents used to be very usual in Kumbh. But of course, this time it was in some ways unexpected because the preparations were top-notch. But clearly, there needs to be more in terms of preparedness. There are 3 more important days and a 45-day-long Mahakumbh, clearly very difficult to manage, and 10 crore people landing in one small town, or at least one small part of Mahakumbh, is clearly difficult to manage. But Yogi Adityanath has been having continuous meetings with his DGP, with his ADG Law and Order, and also senior officials, including the Health Secretary, Home Secretary. Will have to wait and see what happens. But he has appealed to people to cooperate and not to listen to rumors and not be led by any sense of fake news, and not break barricades, and not really insist on going to Sangam today, because today, of course, is one of the most important days, and they would want all preparations to be in place.
As always, Vasudha, thank you so much for taking us through all the details and contextualizing the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister's reaction. We are now seeing sharp political responses as well, with parties like the Samajwadi Party blaming mismanagement and the Congress calling the arrangements half-baked. But the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister just spoke to the media. Here's what Yogi Adityanath said regarding the stampede situation that broke out earlier this morning.
आज मौनी अमावस्या है और प्रयागराज महाकुंभ में श्रद्धालुजनों की भारी भीड़ है। लगभग 8 से 10 करोड़ श्रद्धालु इस समय प्रयागराज के अंदर मौजूद है। कल भी 5.5 करोड़ श्रद्धालुजनों ने महाकुंभ का स्नान किया था। ये जो भारी दबाव श्रद्धालुजनों के कारण और श्रद्धालुओं के संगम नोच पर जाने के कारण वहाँ पर एक बना हुआ है, लेकिन पूरा प्रशासन मौके पे वहाँ मौजूद है। रात्रि को 1 से 2 बजे के बीच में अखाड़ा मार्ग पर, जहाँ पे अखाड़ों के अमृत स्नान के दृश्य से बैरिकेड्स भी किए गए थे, तो बैरिकेड्स को फांद करके आने में कुछ श्रद्धालु गंभीर रूप से घायल हुए हैं। उन्हें तत्काल हॉस्पिटल में पहुंचा करके उपचार आदि की व्यवस्था उनके लिए की गई है। उनमें से कुछ श्रद्धालु गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं। लगातार प्रशासन स्थानीय स्तर पर श्रद्धालुओं की सकुशल स्नान कराने के दृष्टि से रात्रि को कल सायंकाल 6:30-7 बजे से ही मौनी अमावस्या का मुहूर्त प्रारंभ होने के बाद से ही लगातार लगा हुआ है। प्रयागराज में महाकुंभ में श्रद्धालुजनों के सकुशल स्नान करने, अमृत स्नान के लिए देश भर से आए हुए श्रद्धालुजनों की व्यवस्था के लिए, उनके कुशल क्षेम के लिए आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का प्रातःकाल से ही उनके लगभग 4 बार प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हालचाल लिया है। माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने, माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष भारतीय जनता पार्टी श्री जेपी नड्डा जी ने, माननीय गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी ने भी, और प्रदेश की माननीय राज्यपाल श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल जी ने भी लगातार जानकारी लेकर के सभी के कुशल क्षेम और सकुशल स्नान कराने के बारे में निरंतर रिपोर्ट ले रहे हैं। हम लोगों की प्रातःकाल से ही श्रद्धालुजन जो भी आए हैं वे स्नान कर सकें, इसके लिए यहाँ पे उच्च स्तरीय बैठक भी चल रही है, जिसमें मुख्य सचिव भी हैं, डीजीपी हैं, प्रमुख सचिव गृह हैं, मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय के अपर मुख्य सचिव के साथ साथ एडीजी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के साथ साथ अन्य वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण मौजूद हैं। प्रयागराज में हालात वर्तमान में नियंत्रण में हैं, लेकिन भीड़ का दबाव बहुत बना हुआ है। अखाड़ा परिषद से जुड़े हुए पदाधिकारियों के साथ मैंने स्वयं भी बातचीत की है। आचार्य महामंडलेश्वरों से भी, पूज्य संतों के साथ भी मेरी बातचीत हुई है और पूज्य संतों ने बड़ी ही विनम्रता के साथ इस बात को कहा है कि नहीं, श्रद्धालु जन पहले स्नान करेंगे और फिर जब उनका दबाव कुछ कम होगा और वे सकुशल वहाँ से निकल जाएंगे, तब हम लोग स्नान करने के लिए संगम की तरफ जाएंगे। अभी पहले श्रद्धालु जनों को, चूँकि देश भर से आए हैं, तो इसके लिए उन्हें सभी अखाड़े इसके लिए सहमत हैं और सभी लोग इस व्यवस्था के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। लगातार इस दिशा में हम लोगों का प्रयास है कि जो अब तक प्रातःकाल से ही आपने देखा होगा, कल मैंने बताया कि कल लगभग 5.5 करोड़ श्रद्धालु कल महाकुंभ का स्नान किए हैं और आज प्रातःकाल तक लगभग 8:30 बजे तक 3 करोड़ से अधिक श्रद्धालु स्नान कर चुके हैं और ये लगातार जारी है। लेकिन संगम नोच पर, अखाड़ा मार्ग पर, नागवासुकी मार्ग पर लगातार दबाव बना हुआ है और वहाँ पर श्रद्धालु जनों की सुविधा के लिए भी हर प्रकार की वहाँ पर प्रशासन पूरी मुस्तैदी के साथ लगा हुआ है। और इसीलिए मेरी अपील है पूरे प्रदेशवासियों से, पूरे देशवासियों से और सभी श्रद्धालुओं से भी, सभी पूज्य संतों से भी कि अफवाह पर कोई ध्यान न दें, संयम से काम लें। ये सब आयोजन सभी लोगों का है। प्रशासन उनकी सेवा के लिए पूरी तत्परता के साथ लगा हुआ है। केंद्र और राज्य सरकार पूरी मजबूती के साथ वहाँ पर हर प्रकार का सहयोग करने के लिए तत्पर है। लेकिन कोई किसी अफवाह पे ध्यान न दे। कोई भी व्यक्ति नकारात्मक अफवाह फैलाने का प्रयास करेगा, उस प्रकार से नुकसान हो सकता है। और जहां पर हैं आप, लगभग 15 से 20 किलोमीटर के दायरे में अस्थायी घाट बनाए गए हैं, उसमें कहीं भी वे स्नान कर सकते हैं। आवश्यक नहीं कि संगम नोच की तरफ ही आएं, क्योंकि भीड़ देखते हुए, खासतौर पर जो बुजुर्ग हैं, बच्चे हैं, श्वास के रोगी हैं, उनको लंबी दूरी तय नहीं करनी चाहिए और जहां पर हैं वहीं पर आराम से पहले स्थिर होकर के कार्य करें, वहां पर रह करके। और जो नज़दीक के घाट हैं, उसी नज़दीक के घाट में स्नान करेंगे। सब गंगा जी के ही घाट हैं और गंगा जी के इस घाट में वही पुण्य प्राप्त होगा। ये मौनी अमावस्या है। मौनी अमावस्या में स्नान का महत्व है। संगम में स्नान का दबाव बहुत ज़्यादा है, इसलिए सभी लोग अगर वहाँ पे इसमें अपना सहयोग करेंगे तो सकुशल हम सभी श्रद्धालु